I never had to know where a toilet brush bowl was in my life.
Dude.
Now I just fucking keep that thing on me all the time.
Got it right here.
Now I fucking go into a hotel. I'm like, there's no bowl brush here?
If I go to a bathroom and there's not a plunger, I don't go. I'm like, there's a 50% chance we're gonna have a problem here. I'm not equipped.
Is this Barstool?
BarstoolSports.com. Is that right? BarstoolSports.com.
It's your boy KFC.
Become kind of a craze.
Your boy Big Cat.
Kind of a craze.
And your boy Feitelberg.
So go to BarstoolSports.com. If you do, God bless you.
You listen to KFC Radio.
All right, it is Big Cat's final appearance on KFC Radio, and it could not be a more fitting calamity. Dan's flight canceled because of the weather. Feitelberg's in a burlap sack, and I am stuck in my house has been under construction for almost 2 years now. No one has been here working until today. They decided to show up. So if you hear banging and noise, that's it. So the perfect finale for KFC Radio.
Yeah, I have the same thing going on construction. So you're probably gonna I had a moment this morning. First of all, I apologize that I wasn't there in person. It was I've never seen a flight just canceled and they just gave me nothing else. They're like, you have no flight. And we tried. You guys saw the message. I sent it to you. It's like, we tried, but we couldn't find anything. You're shit out of luck.
Dude, what if it was something important?
This is important.
It was a family emergency or something. Like, you're just fucked.
You're right. And then I went on Kayak to just look, and I was like, let me check. And it was like the first one out of Chicago this morning was like 10:30, 11. Whatever. No one wants to hear about flights, but it's perfect that we're back on Zoom, and I did have a moment this morning. I'm dealing with the same thing, Kevin, where I have like a bunch of construction going on in my house, and I walked out of my shower, and there was just like a dude standing in my bedroom, and I was like, oh hey, and he was just like, hey, here for the bathroom, like doing the tile, and I was like, okay, cool, like. Bro, I'm going to be doing a podcast downstairs, which I haven't said to anyone in a long time. Like, hey, everyone in the house, shut up. I'm doing a podcast.
I mean, yeah, the probably the most famous clip of you from this show is chasing after Stella when she ran around in the background. So, like, there was always some sort of chaos or noise, or John was in the office. I'm in, like, Jay's nursery. Mm-hmm. You're chasing Stella. It was very much of its time where it was, a big deal, but it was clearly just three guys throwing it together, making it happen.
Yeah. I used to have to beg Gaz to use his office just so Dave wouldn't hear me doing this podcast.
I don't think we gave enough credit to John for just like trying to exist in our world right underneath Dave's nose, considering he probably hated the subject matter. We used to stress about like guests. We used to never know, and John was right underneath him the whole time.
I was literally in the stairs. I'd be like, yeah, guys, I don't know. I think this is kind of funny, but don't tell Dave I said that.
Dude, think about the fact that we had the G Chat gang, which was literally the bare minimum of coworkers existing together, because we all blogged in our own homes, in our own cities, and with a bare minimum was like we'd be on G Chat being like, so what are you blogging about today? And Dave was like, this is disgusting. You fucking weirdos just fucking liking each other and just doing this shit.
We had an early version of Slack, and Dave was like, this is not going to fly in my
That's all it was. It was just Slack. That's it, man. It was like, I want to communicate with my coworkers. It was like, you guys are gay.
Yeah, this is so lame. I can't believe you're doing this. And meanwhile, if you, we had to communicate, because if, God forbid, you wrote the same blog as someone else,
a reblog.
You'd be you get lashed like you're in fucking Bangkok and you stole a mango. It's fucking crazy.
I think I still have PTSD from that. And I don't even know if it was like definitively from Dave ire or comment section ire or whatever. But like, if I hear a story said once, I'm like, don't ever fucking say that out loud again. Don't ever say that out loud again in front of anybody.
Dude, remember some people used to get grimy and they would change the publish time by like 1 minute so yours would be on top on this. I mean, just things that to us, and I'm sure we could go through and there's probably a billion of these things that to us were like absolute life and death, the most important, now mean like absolutely nothing to anybody at all.
Nothing, and they're just so funny looking back too, because obviously our lives are not real lives, and like we've been very blessed. Like just thinking about finding an awesome ass for Guess That Ass and being like, oh, thank God I can eat lunch today. Like, I can take like a 20-minute break. I don't have to fucking scroll online for 2 hours trying to find an ass in the wild.
Or when you find one and you think you have it, but you realize it's actually like 2 weeks old or someone else already did it. And you're like, nah! One of my favorite Barstool sagas was the great GTA debate. Remember between Mo and Dave? It was like, who called it first? It was a whole email chain. And it was like, I emailed at like 10 o'clock. I was like, well, I emailed at 9:59. But it was like the most Dave has ever emailed any of us was to fight over who got this ass.
Yeah. And it's those are the moments too, where like back, 10, 15 years ago when people, the Barstool haters, I feel like they were more well known. Now it's just like there's a swath of people that hate us, but like who the fuck cares? But there was like the Deadspins, all that, and they're like, these guys are misogynistic. All they do all day is like look online to get their dicks hard and look for asses. And I'm just like, yeah, actually, you're not
right.
that wrong.
You're right. You know what I'll say though?
That's a good portion of my job.
I would say, and this is going to sound crazy because what we did in the past, said a lot of crazy shit. I think we've kind of aged like fine wine compared to the shit that's going on.
Agreed.
With like, we used to be like the extremists, and now it's like, well, we're not like Nazis, and we're not like, like all of that shit was really jokes, and then it became very serious and real for a huge population of men, and I'm like, hey, we're actually not so bad anymore.
That is true. We were the maniacs, and we became the middle.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, because I think it really was like, well, wait a minute. We're just joking. It sounds like you guys are being really
Yeah. What is the Dunning-Kruger effect or whatever the fuck it is, a sliding window where you just stand in the same place and you're like, I didn't change. And everyone changes around you. Yeah.
So we were talking a couple weeks ago during this wrap-up farewell tour. The initial, the first episode, I just opened up the voicemails and let them come in. And by chance, all of those guys asked dumb hypotheticals and like would you rathers and who would win in a fight. So that's just kind of the direction the show went. I never really had an opinion of which way it should go. But we were saying how like that kind of resulted in like the last type of humor that Dave likes. And it kind of, it ages poorly because you're like, oh, that's so silly now. Did you ever have a thought about like that in general, that we were just doing like dumb shit and that's where the calls went and that's kind of who we became?
No, all right. So I'll probably get sappy a couple times during this, which apologies to everyone, but like I remember just being so pumped to be asked by you, Kevin, to do this and know that Fights was doing it. And I was just like, this is fucking awesome. I don't really know where this is going to go, but I know that I will slowly, hopefully get better being on screen, talking, doing all that stuff. And like, I just was like, yeah, let's just do whatever. And I don't even think people will sometimes bring up hypotheticals and I'll just have no memory of it whatsoever. And that's probably a good thing because we probably said some shit that like the baby in the microwave is something now that I have children, maybe not the smartest thing. What was it?
You said the only question is how many times can you do it?
It was the hypothetical was something like what you get like $10,000 for every second you put a baby in a microwave.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Like,
you said, let's go.
You just keep making money. And I think you had Shay at that point, or you were maybe, I don't remember what the timing was, but I just looking back now with kids, I'm like, holy fuck, I did say that.
Yeah, there's a lot of at one point
the money must have changed too. The money's changed. Like,
definitely.
Things like for $10,000.
That's what Dan. You once said I need 10 grand, and you could just exist for. If you said give me $10,000 and I'll live on an island forever, I was like, I don't think that's enough, man. I don't think so.
No,
but also like that. Like, I remember Dave. I remember when I think I was still in high school. I might have been in college, but I remember Dave writing a blog where it was like, I need $2 million and I'm done. I'm out of here. And I was like, I remember at the time I was in like high school and I was going, I don't think that's enough, dude. Like,
dude, imagine at that point saying, Dave, one day that's going to be your unit on a WNBA basketball game.
It's crazy. But yeah, the start of the show, like I just remember being in, and I can't thank you, Kevin, enough. And I like, I think there's a history lesson that a lot of Stoolies, a lot of the diehard Stoolies, a lot of people listening to this know, like the importance of KFC Radio to like Barstool's growth and doing podcasts. Because what we joke about, like Dave not being into it, like he did not. He was like, "This is the dumbest thing you guys could ever do," and Dave is like, we know him very well. He's a very savvy business person. Like his instincts are almost always correct with business. This one was a blind spot for him, but Kevin was like, I want to do this. And then when you invited me and like Fights was involved, I was just like, this is fucking so much fun. And I don't care what we're talking about. And it's like, yeah, there's a couple podcasts already out there, like Rogan had his, Simmons had a podcast, but for the most part, there just weren't a lot of people doing it. And
especially not just like that, like just,
right.
Like Rogan and Simmons, they were just guys being guys, but this was like literally just dudes hanging out, which I don't think was there yet. Yeah.
Right. And it was so like thrilling and fun. And, I remember I was listening to you guys talk about, cause like I got a little emotional when obviously I knew you guys were ending the show, but when you announced it and you did the podcast about it, laughing about the, putting it up on doing the old Robert Little where we put the KFC Radio widget on the website.
Billions of views.
And we're like 3 billion people listen to KFC Radio this week. We're like, what? Huh? No way. It's just like, that's how new and weird it was. And it was just so much fun. And I remember, I tell this story, it was also like the first, because just doing it and having the feeling of no one's watching was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to us. And obviously there were people watching, but it was smaller because it was like, this is new and Barstool was smaller. And being able to take the risks of like, no one's watching this, we can just say whatever we want, was awesome because you didn't have that fear in the back of your head. And I talk about it all the time when we have new, like, hires and stuff. They're so scared of like what they're going to say and what's going to, so they're just always playing from behind when it comes to trying to be entertaining. But I remember the first time I was like, oh fuck, people are listening to this. Remember I told the story about when I got so drunk, I tried to shit in a trash can in a bar, and I was at my, Saturday, basketball run. I used to play pickup hoops on Saturday, and we got off the court, and a dude just goes, "You tried to shit in a trash can in a bar?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, someone actually did listen to this." And it was like that. It was so crazy. It like blew my mind. And then I was like, maybe I should rethink this if I'm going to tell those type of stories.
Dude, particularly at that time, because like social media wasn't really that big. We certainly weren't really doing like putting clips on social media like that. So like. It was kind of like Schrodinger's cat, where it's like we're talking to. I have no fucking idea.
Could be zero, could be a billion.
There's no way I could possibly know who's listening to this. I'm sure there was a way, literally, but like in my brain, there wasn't. So
I mean, how many people? I'm trying to think if I even remember some of the early numbers because I think we put it on YouTube. I don't know. It was never enough that it was a big deal, but
I think it was like probably, if I had to guess, it was probably like in the 10 to 20,000 range, somewhere around there, which like for that time is massive. But it was
almost now again, it's kind of come back around where like there's so much competition now. If you're putting out like 20,000 view videos, you're doing well.
Yeah.
It's like for the time and for now, it's pretty good. It was that in between period where things kind of got crazy. But I think the original listeners were like, now everyone's looking for podcasts the same way you put on TV, but those people were like, they were OG diehards because you had to seek it out. You had to watch it on weird times and weird platforms and shit. They were our original diehards.
Do we even have a schedule? I'm trying to remember.
So, okay. The only thing I remember is we used to record like for probably a couple hours. And then we broke it up into multiple releases. So it would be like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday drop or something. And all I remember is that probably in like 2015, 16-ish, maybe a little earlier, around that time, I remember saying we had like kind of missed a couple episodes. It was like, oh, I'm on vacation or I can't make it today. And we skipped like a few weeks in a row. And I remember we had a talk where I was like, we either got to do this or not do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of remember thinking like, I think the guys are probably going to decide to not do it. Like, I think this might be it. And everybody agreed, let's commit to it. And then we got on like a real schedule and like, thank God we did because it led to everything. But there was a moment there where it could have gone like, let's just focus on blogging and this is stupid, Dave's right, and it would have all been gone.
Now that you say that, I do remember that because it was very not that it was half-assed, but I think John and I were coming from a place, at least myself, I'll speak for myself, was like, I think this is awesome and fun, but like it's not really my thing, and it's, but I'm having a great time. And then I remember having that conversation. I also, John, I had no idea you were just getting drunk during every episode because you were nervous.
Now it all clicks.
Like, that was crazy. When I was listening to you guys talk about the show, I was like, what the fuck?
It wasn't like a regular thing, but there were certainly like, because we would drink a beer. We were drinking beers like on the show.
Yeah.
And then there was like for sure the early episodes, I was ripping a few shots beforehand because I was like, again, it was Schrodinger's cat. For all I knew, 1 million people were watching, but also 0 people were watching.
Yeah.
It also was great because going back to the G chat thing, we didn't see each other and we didn't have like real in-person coworkers. So you guys were the only people I talked to basically on a regular, like on a Tuesday in the middle of February in Chicago when it's 10 degrees. Like, I'm not seeing other human beings. So like coming on was such a escape where it's like, yeah, we're going to just let it fly. You know how you get like, if you go to the office all day and you're talking to people, you get like that exhaustion where you're like, I don't want to talk to anyone. It was the exact opposite.
You know what we did? We basically had self-enforced COVID.
Yeah. Yes.
We had our own quarantine for like 5 years.
Yes.
And it was weird because we never did see each other, but like at the same time, I was like, I think these guys are my best friends. I talk to them more than anybody.
Yes. They're the only people I can relate to in life anymore.
Yeah. The only thing I remember thinking, I always hated the name. I talked about this at length with John. Like, I wish we changed it. I wish there was something better. And I thought the only thing I could always, like, I couldn't stop thinking about was if Dave was involved, if he liked that sort of shit, believed in podcasting, and he was a part of it, I think it would have just been the Barstool Sports podcast. Because at the end of the day, it's like we were just guys. It was like the pitch for Barstool. It's like when you're sitting with your guys watching the game, these are the things you talk about. And that's what we were doing. And I wonder sometimes if he was a part of it or if it became more of like, instead of like our thing over here, if it was like a company-wide thing. Because to me, that was just Barstool in a nutshell. It was sports. It was 6, 8, 12, 24 challenge, like all the dumb shit, And I was like, that was kind of the essence of Barstool. We just put it under a different name.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was basically everything, all of our jokes and stupid humor, and even getting Jay Cutler on was very Barstool. Dave's his one appearance where he was so mad.
I remember
I still remember that appearance. That was one for me where I was like, I'll never recover from this. He was so mad and so adamant that I was gay. Because I didn't get hard when I danced with girls.
Your dick's not hard when you're dancing on a wedding?
He was like, there's something wrong with you, buddy.
That, and I remember one of the questions was, like, would you have sex with Susan Boyle? Remember her, the American Idol girl?
Yeah.
She was like 80 years old.
Yes.
And it was like, so it was one of those extreme, silly hypotheticals. And now I know it, now I would never engage him in that sort of shit. But at the time, I don't think I really knew that. So I was like, yeah, here's what we do. We have these like silly conversations. And he was just so appalled at the thought of giving that even a second of his time. I was like, oh, this is not going to go well at
all. Oh, man.
Don't ever make me think about a woman that old ever again.
Yeah. And then I think about like the fact that we were the first, we did live shows, the worst live shows ever. That one
KFC 100, remember that?
Dude, that one live show, where was that? What bar was that?
Saloon on the Upper East Side to celebrate our 100th episode, which that, by the way, as bad as it was probably the first time that I was like, oh, we're really onto something. There's a line out the door around the corner to that bar. And then we gave them the worst show of all time.
I think about that. Like, you're right, though. That was a moment where I was like, oh, shit, people are listening to this show. But we were in a bar. We did not have a stage. I think maybe the first 5 feet of people could hear what we were saying.
Maybe.
Everywhere. It was like the bar was like regular bar. Everyone was just talking, not listening. And the speaker that we had went, it had a blast radius of like 8 feet.
Directly into our ears.
Yeah. Pointed at us.
And then I remember we were staying, John, we were staying at a hotel that was very small because it's Manhattan. And I just remember it was me, you, and Lewis, and we did so much cocaine, like I couldn't feel my face, and we were just like sprawled out, like sleeping on I can't remember, like we didn't have enough beds, and we were just all kind of everywhere.
I remember that, and then I remember the next morning when I was trying to fucking like shake it off. I took a freezing cold shower, and in the shower I was like, oh, oh, oh. And I came out, and you were like, dude, did you just jerk off in there? And I was like, you think I'm a cartoon character, dude? You think that's how I come?
The hotel was so small that I think that you were taking a shower literally in my lap. Like it was right there. But yeah, that was we tried those things, the live shows that were, that first one. I can picture it in my head of just talking to a mic and having no one be able to hear us.
Oh, yeah. that was the first, I was already nervous to be like on stage, if you will. And, since then we've had shows that have bombed or had like technical difficulties or whatever. But I feel like I was sitting there like, somebody please kill me right now. If someone were to shoot me and end this, I would be happier than just suffering through this shit right now. Mm-hmm. That was like, I feel like nowadays, like I said, so many people have their favorite podcast and they buy all the merch and they buy all the tickets. And we were at a time where like there wasn't a lot of that. So the support we got was like so fucking real. The fact that that was our first live show. But the first time we did a real show was at the Wilbur, dude.
Yeah.
You know how many comics have come through, Dan, and been like, my dream is to one day sell out the Wilbur, and we did it like the first night.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, and it really is true. Like I really do think that the writing on the blog, you don't really get the feeling like people don't really come up to you and like, hey, remember that blog you wrote? But once we started doing KFC Radio, that's when people started obviously putting our faces out there. People started like coming up to you and saying like, oh, I love that episode, or throwing random hypotheticals. You're like, oh man, it's actually working. This thing is working. This thing is real. It's not just anonymous. And it was like a time where like the people who were with KFC Radio from day one, it's like it really does feel like the band that you found before everyone else. And that's kind of Barstool overall. Those days of like, oh, this is like an inside joke that no one, the general public doesn't even see.
Yeah, it was my favorite. I had to pick like what I wish to be a lasting legacy of KFC Radio. The new age era was sort of what we did in comedy, but prior to that, I loved the fact that like the whole pizza burrito thing, was born from that. And even like we grew the mustache, we grew the playoff beards, you had the mustache. A lot of things that like became a part of Barstool lore actually originated, kind of got incubated in our world. I was always very proud of that.
Yeah, Dave's pizza reviews came from the pizza burrito argument.
Maybe he was always going to do something like that, but it did like.
No, but that's how it started.
Like a thing, yeah.
Yeah, because we did and then he after he's saying, I actually ate a burrito every single day for a week, and he claimed he ate a pizza every day for a week, and then when he broke his he started eating popcorn at the Big Ten semifinals, he's like, I cheated like on the first night. He's like, I ate cookies the first night.
That's like when
it's
he
also
pretended...
unbelievable that he cheated with like not a salad, not like a green
cookies.
Like I had to get a couple mint Milanos in the system.
Yeah.
That was like when he also when he pretended to jerk off 12 times for the 6, 12, 18, 24 challenge. It's like, Dave, we know you're not doing any of this.
Bro. Just think of the idea of pretending to masturbate for internet clout. Guys, I swear to God, I jerked off 12 times. I fucking swear.
But no, you're right, Kevin. It's I don't think you guys get enough credit. And what were you guys talking about when you were saying like it was the top 100 or whatever times the podcast.
Top 100 podcast, yeah.
And then John, did you write about it or did you talk about it?
Oh yeah. I did.
And it was like yeah, of course people don't like when they, when someone's being braggadocious, but John kind of made some great points. Like my podcast career started on KFC Radio. Like that's a fact. Like that's where I learned how to do this. And I think I'm pretty good at it, but it's also because I was able to be given this runway where we were able to kind of figure it out on the fly. It wasn't just thrown right into it. and grow with the podcast. And then your guys' ability to evolve over the time. Like, how many podcasts are able to last as long as you guys did, where you basically pivoted multiple times?
Yeah.
That doesn't really happen. You know what I mean?
We pivoted so many times.
Right. And I know that, like,
we held
some
our
of them probably
pivot foot,
weren't,
bro. We were pivoting.
yeah. Some of them probably weren't your favorite pivots. And like, I always felt bad that, obviously I remember when we moved to New York and it was that moment. I think I can't remember who we were talking to, but it was just like, I wanted to keep doing both, but it also wasn't really fair because it was clear that like there was a lot of time going into PMT and
Was
it wasn't
that a big moment?
It was for me personally, because I remember I wanted to keep doing KFC Radio, but then I like had that realization. It's like me doing this and like being that guy who's like, oh, can't do it right now, traveling for an interview, doing this. Like, I would only stop you guys from going to wherever you wanted to go. So that sucked because it just wasn't. I don't know. That just sucked. I remember in the moment being like, this sucks. I wish I could do it all. But you guys being able to pivot to multiple things and change on the fly like multiple times. It's like PMT does the same. We do the same thing every show. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of doing the same thing. So it's not like one day we're just like, oh, we're going to be this and then we're going to be that. So you guys deserve all the credit in the world for doing that and lasting as long as you do.
Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. I do feel though, like we in terms of like a basketball pivot, I feel like we pivoted until we came back around and then there's nowhere else to pivot. You know what I mean? Like we were like, should we reinvent it, change the name, change the this or that, focus on TV, whatever it might have been. And it was like, it's still just going to be me and John talking. And so, at some point you got to like totally change. You can't just keep tweaking and keep the same basis.
Oh, he froze.
Oh, I was
Did he
gonna say,
freeze?
did I lose it? Yeah, this is
I was
perfect.
actually
We gotta
supposed-
freeze.
You
we gotta
froze.
the pizza.
No.
Okay,
I've been freezing up. I've been freezing up a lot.
Oh, that was the first time we knew. This is perfect.
Okay.
I love it.
But I was gonna say I was surprised that was like a big decision for you, Dan, because like when I still didn't think of this as like our job. Like,
Yeah, there was
I thought
part of
it was
that.
fun.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, okay, like that makes sense. I know that show's doing well. Like that makes sense. This isn't even my job. I don't really care. It's like it's a Kramer.
Oh man. When was there a moment for you? I mean, I feel like it was pretty hot out of the gates. I want to say Adam Morrison, right, was the first thing that put you on.
Yeah.
So was that like, how quickly were you like, oh, this is it? Like, this is going to be a big deal.
It was the Adam Morrison one. Well, it was ESPN suing us 2 weeks in.
I tell people that all the time now when they're talking about like, how do I start or this or that? And I'm always like, if you can find yourself a little controversy to begin, like get yourself a cease and desist. It works out real well.
It's insane.
I'm fucking so mad at Trump for fucking defunding NPR, so they had no lawyers to sue us for lay mascots. We're like, no way Sesame Street's gonna allow this bullshit. And then they did.
Yeah, you need some controversy, dude. And that was that the name was the issue, right? It was. By the way, is it true? Did I make this up, or is it true that PFT really didn't know that it was, pardon the interruption, mixed with First Take?
For like 2 weeks he didn't. Yeah, and then he realized it. Well, when they sued us, he was like, "Why would they sue us?" And I was like, "Well, we literally mashed everything together." And it wasn't the name. The name, they don't own those words. It was the fact we quite literally took their logos and mashed them together. Yeah. And it was just so, yeah, I mean, it was the perfect thing that they did that, because they just brought so much attention to us. And then having Mike Portnoy send a cease and desist back to them was perfect.
Man.
But,
Dude, I forgot about that. You guys were off and running fast right away.
Yeah. They just handed it to us. They handed it to us. But we had the similar things where the podcast world is so funny, because it used to be just such like do you remember the podcast One Fake Numbers?
Oh, we talked about that. You got a gazillion views.
Yeah, the Jim Harbaugh interview, the first Jim Harbaugh interview we did, and they were like, yeah, 10 million people listened to it. We're like, there's just no fucking way. That's too many people.
Dude, I did the opposite, where I would be like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I do bet 3 million people listen to me today.
I remember being like, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to like walk outside if that was the case, if that many people were watching, and no one seems to know who the fuck I am. Did you
We are almost to the end of the 12 days of Game Time, where they are giving away prizes every day with a $5,000 grand prize at the end. If you still haven't entered, go to 12daysofgametime.com. It is free. It only takes a few seconds. This season, Game Time is celebrating the moments that made people fans, and they've been enabling those moments for the past 12 years now. I mean, you can do this. Particularly for me, someone from the Boston area, there are countless moments that have made me a fan. Basically, every single time you saw Tom Brady run on the field, that made me a fan. Every single time you saw David Pastrnak step on the ice, Patrice Bergeron, Zdeno Chara, there's a million people. You have to be in the building to start being a fan like that. Game Time helps you do it. These are the type of moments that Game Time is celebrating. So go to 12daysofgametime.com today for a chance to experience one of these moments. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp, rewriting traditions. Therapy can give you the space to create new and meaningful traditions, providing clarity amidst the holiday chaos, right? We're all in that right now. If you can hear it in my voice, you can feel it in my throat, or I can feel it in my throat. The holidays are a time of tradition. Some people have had many in their family, while some of us have none or are just beginning our own. Now is the time to reflect on what they mean to you, or rewrite those traditions and make your own, like perfecting a new hot chocolate recipe with the kids, or continuing your great aunt's sweet potato pie. Incorporating therapy into your new or existing traditions can help ensure you take time off for yourself during what can be a very joyful but sometimes hectic and lonely time of the year. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps you identify your needs and preferences, and our 12 plus years of experience in the industry, an industry leading match fulfillment rate, means we typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different type of therapist at any time from our tailored recs. This December, start a new tradition by taking care of you. Our listeners get 10% off at betterhelp.com/KFC. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/KFC.
With PMT, did you ever feel like it reached a point where you're like, we were doing Mount Rushmores and shit to make fun of it, but now like our fans love it, and we have to do them now the way that like ESPN always did them. Was there ever a feeling of like, oh no, we've become what we're making fun of, or that you were like, that was the point, we're cool with that?
Every now and then I'll have that thought creep in, and then we'll, like, for Mount Rushmore to be specific, like we'll do a Mount Rushmore and then we'll argue about the color of cheese for like an hour and get actually mad at each other and like, we're fine, we're good, we're like we're so dumb, we can't, we will always fall back into just being morons on the mic. But yeah, it's weird to see it, because there will be people who are very defensive of Mount Rushmore. It's like, no, we started this as a joke. Like, that was the joke, that there's nothing to talk about. But yeah, I think we've done a decent enough job of not still becoming so mainstream. Obviously, you got to catch yourself. Like the Jay Cutler, when we were talking about being one of the first big guests, like that one taught me a great lesson of like, you can't become like really good friends with these guys, because then you'll just look like an idiot when they like have a bad game and you refuse to admit it. You remember when like Jay would have a bad game and be like, his offensive line sucks, fucking no receivers, and everyone's like, dude, it's okay to say you had a bad game, like, not gonna say it. So
I also thought it was funny to just outright refuse to admit it. Like,
yeah, well, now you just have to
else.
say it. Yeah, you just have to say you're biased. Like I say when people get upset at us because they're like, Josh Allen will have a bad game, and I've just said out loud, I'm like, I'm not going to say anything bad about Josh Allen. Sorry.
Like the guy.
Yeah, sorry. He's been huge for us. Like, he was being cool with us doing the whole draft Josh Allen thing, like, was big for PMT. I refuse to say anything. And we do this whole bit, like the can't win the big one. And like, we're talking about like Caitlin Clark and Connor McDavid. And it's like kind of the elephant just sitting in the corner of the room looking over like, nope, he's fine, dude. He's fine.
Yeah, so the Cutler thing was like, that was a big deal for us, having Jay Cutler on. It was at a time where Cuddy was still, a premier quarterback, and he loved us. It was a big Barstool fan, but then specifically loved KFC Radio, and was like, I'll come. I would love to come on the show, but like, it's got to be just you guys.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if Dave ever actually had a problem. I know that I was anticipating, if Dave finds that out, it's going to be an issue. So we were like, how do we do it? But don't tell him. But I don't know. I don't really remember how that resolved itself. I don't know if Dave actually cared or if we fabricated that.
I think we might have fabricated it, because I just remember us freaking out, being like, how the fuck do we tell him? He's going to be so mad.
Yeah.
He's going to I actually don't think he
I think
cared
he was
that
just
much.
like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, that's fine. Your stupid little podcast.
Yeah. I wonder if he had bought into podcasting more, if it would have been an issue. But we definitely worried about that. And then and that was, I mean, again, he was still good at that point, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
He was like premier, and we had like an hour-long sit down with one of the rarest club in the world, a professional NFL quarterback, and he just answered all the dumb fucking questions that we had, like all the hypotheticals, all that shit. That was a big one. That was cool.
That is
Yeah.
honest to God, like there's so much stuff throughout the history of our careers that I've never really thought about, and that's one I never really thought about until right now. Yeah, doing a full hour interview with a NFL quarterback in season.
John, if we did that now, like Dan's done it a bunch, but like right now, if like Jared Goff came on, I'd be like, this is a big fucking deal. It was 15 years ago.
Yeah. It was huge. Like, John, even think about like the kickball tournament when you almost got fired. The reason you almost got fired is because we were just hanging out with the Blackhawks doing a fucking like bar crawl around the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, it was a
You guys are
joke.
blacked out in an alley with Patrick Sharp.
Yeah, Patrick Sharp drove us home. He was like, Patrick Sharp won a Stanley Cup and was like, it was like the third or fourth night. He's like, I'm good. I don't need to party anymore. And we were just blacked out in his car.
Dan, did you ever feel like, I feel like you came in so hot. I want to say like year one or like pretty early at least. You were like holding the cup up with the Hawks. You were on the field at Wrigley. Like you were so embraced right away by those teams.
It was crazy. I mean, Patrick Sharp is the man. I owe him so much. And Cutler, like they're both of them becoming genuine friends. And like I said, like,
would you say was Rizzo your like main Cub?
Rizzo was he took him a little longer to warm up to me. But he did obviously. Yeah, he became, a good friend. And it's just like, yeah, those guys, I think it was just the fact that we've always been smart with how we've done it at Barstool, where it's like, we are not trying to burn anyone. Like, I don't want to burn. The last thing we've done it a couple times where we've had an interview and then someone's gotten in trouble after, and it's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
It literally like tears me apart, where it's like, we're never trying to interview someone to be like, gotcha. And I think that, and you guys do the same thing where it's like, you're not trying to have a comedian on to be like, let's see what they'll fucking say so they can get in trouble. So I think having that mindset, people feel comfortable with us because they know, like, hey, we're not walking into something where it's going to be just like a gotcha. And the media is, like, not, I wonder, like in today's day and age, can you like start a podcast? Like if you're in your 20s, like we were, and like just have guys like that come on? I don't think so, because everyone's so media savvy now. You know what I mean? Like Cutler doing that it really is insane to think about. There's just no way a starting quarterback would be like, yeah, I'm going to go on this podcast and answer stupid hypotheticals of like, would you suck your mom's, clit or your dad's balls?
I'm sure Cutler's team must have been like, no.
Well, he's the perfect guy.
Not.
He's the perfect guy because I obviously got like pretty close with him, and I know how his team is structured, and he just does whatever the fuck he wants. He always did that. So he is the perfect guy, but there's not many guys like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was a big one for us. And that was where, it's funny. Those were things I remember being like, well, this is going to be a domino effect. Like the next quarterback, come on down every week. And it kind of just existed on its own. Like, and it's, it stayed there, which almost made it funnier that it happened like once and then never again.
Well, he was a genuine fan. He was literally a genuine fan who was like, I listened to your guys' podcast. And I was like, that's fucking crazy. And he would listen to it. It's like, that just blew my mind. Still kind of blows my mind.
When you had to like really seek it out, there was no, algorithm feeding it to you. None of that shit. You had to go be like, type in, I want to watch KFC Radio.
Yeah, go to the Podcast One website.
Oh my God. All right, so we're gonna start with we have some voicemails, but first we want to play some old school ones just to
oh boy,
just to go down memory lane. Let's start with Christopher Columbus. This is perfect.
Yeah.
This is what it used to be like. Leave all of this in. I want to see
We're just sitting
how
here.
it used to be, man. It was.
I was like super bummed that flight got canceled, but now the fact that we're doing this should have been the plan all along.
So much better. Dude.
It's so funny.
But this is now taking quite a long time.
You got this, Pabs. You got this. Stay in the pocket.
No pressure, bro. Not like we're all just staring right at you waiting. Yeah. But is
It's
this
your
the
boy
Columbus?
KFC.
Become kind of a craze.
It's your boy
Hey,
Big
we
Cat
can't do an 8 minute
Kind of a
clip.
craze.
and your boy Feitelberg.
So go to BarstoolSports.com if you do. God bless you.
You listen to KFC Radio.
There's Cuddy.
Let's see. Here's a ridiculous question, and we get questions like this all the time where I think people really overestimate Barstool. This comes from Kevin H. He's at KJ Hogo. This guy says, we have 15 years, unlimited amounts of money, and we have to build everything by hand. Could Barstool land on the moon? What planet is this dude on? Clearly not Earth. He must come from the moon if he thinks that we're going to get to fucking outer space like NASA astronaut.
I thought the hardest possible question was going to be a log cabin. That maybe we could do.
Let me put this into perspective for this kid.
Wait, before you do that, let me just say he has one more follow-up. It's 15 years to get to the moon or 5 years to get to Europe. Continue.
Well, 5 years to get to Europe's doable.
This is where Dan started to creep in. Like, well, wait a minute.
A vote is different. If you gave Barstool a rocket ship and a manual to the rocket ship and gave us 15 years, give us unlimited rocket ships, we still wouldn't reach the moon.
Unlimited rocket ships, unlimited time.
Yeah, unlimited lives. No. So that is the dumbest question I've ever heard.
Ever.
When you said moon, my head almost blew up. Like, I thought it was going to be like, could you live in the woods in a log cabin for 15 years?
Dude,
The fucking moon. Even I think Europe is even out of the question because, like,
Yeah, I mean,
you can't build a boat.
You seem pretty confident that we could sail to Europe in 5 years.
because a boat is just not a boat. Like, you can build a boat.
Okay, who's our water displacement expert?
Yeah, I feel like you could build. I mean, dude, because here's the thing.
Here we go.
Fucking Christopher Columbus and those idiots back in like the Stone Age were able to build boats and get to Europe and get to America. They went around the world. That's like
Stone Age.
The basis of that. They used their hands to build that. Oh,
Yeah, but they were
I disagree with you. You're calling them Stone Age idiots. I think those guys were a million times the men we are when it comes to building shit with our hands. We sit around, all we do is type on a computer and jerk off our dicks. We can't build a goddamn thing.
I mean, Dan, there's a reason we still know their names. They're the smartest men of their time, which is way, way, way smarter than us. Some of the dumbest people of our time.
I almost like being a little too serious there. Like, hey, just so you know, Dan, I think this Columbus guy's pretty all right.
Well,
I guess in Dan's defense, that dude went halfway around the world in the wrong way. He wasn't trying to get here.
I think we got it there. I mean, that is I don't remember like the timing of that all, but I do remember that Dan basically became patron saint of irrational confidence on KFC Radio.
Yes.
And there was two examples. It was that you could out punch Floyd Mayweather in the punch fight, and also that you are smarter than Christopher Columbus. There was not a hypothetical in the world that Dan would give up on or say we couldn't do. Do you really still think you're smarter than Christopher Columbus?
100%. The guy was a moron. He fucking went. He landed in Cuba and said he was in India. He's a moron.
He was way off on that one.
So there are definitely some things. The baby in the microwave. I probably as I've gotten older, been like, yeah, that was pretty stupid. But I still think I'm smarter than Christopher Columbus, and I do think I could go punch for punch with Floyd Mayweather if we're just standing there taking shots.
And go first.
I get to go
like?
first. I get to go first.
Right.
That one was, that one pissed people off. They're like, no, fuck. I'm like, I'm saying we stand and we punch you. It's Dana White's slap league, but I get to go first. And I think I could, and also remember, I think I threw in the caveat that I had to be able to train my neck for 3 months. Like that was going to make me a world-class fighter. I was like, and the only thing that's keeping me from being a world-class fighter is I just don't have the neck strength yet. But I could get it. But yeah, I
could get it in 3 months.
Every now and then I'll see, like on Instagram, and it'll be like, the North Sea is like the craziest sea ever. And it's like a fucking huge tanker just like going over these. And I just look at it. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. Yep. I'm going to stay strong with this one. I'm not going to give up. If you put Christopher Columbus, if he showed up today, he'd be a fucking idiot. He wouldn't know how to work a key card. He wouldn't know how to turn on a computer.
Couldn't even get into the goddamn building.
Bathroom. Yeah, he doesn't know how to flush a toilet.
We kind of had a old school KFC radio moment, maybe within the last couple of years. The question was, if you had unlimited attempts to complete open heart surgery, and the only thing you get to watch a YouTube tutorial, how long do you think it would take for you to, and you just have another body come in, like, oh, that person's dead, on to the next one, just an endless train. And I think John and Jackie and Pabs were like 15 times, I'll figure it out.
I forgot about this question, but in my head, I was just like, pretty quick.
YouTube,
I'd have that one handled pretty quick.
So I get to have a YouTube tutorial like open next to me?
So, yes. I believe that was the case.
I, honestly, John, I think you're underselling. I think it's like 3 times. I think I'd probably make a mistake the first 2 times. Be like, all right, don't do that again. Don't cut that one.
Dude, it was so funny though, because I was on the other side of it, and I was like, You're gonna have dozens of dead people. Their blood's on your hands. That's gonna affect you. And they're like, nah, man. No.
2 people. 2 people will have to die. And I think by the 3rd time, I'll be like, all right, you got this now.
I'm pretty good. I'm not great, but I'm pretty good at learning lessons. And I think if I keep killing people, I'll keep learning lessons.
Yes.
And eventually I'll be like, all right.
You're right.
Sub 10 before I'm like, we got to get a handle on this, John.
You're right. By the way, I should get a little credit for at least being honest about the rocket ship, because that would be.
That was the only time you ever agreed. No, we couldn't do that.
That was
too far.
Yeah.
The funniest part was your come down though, because you were like, 15 years to get to the moon is crazy. 5 years trip. Now hang on.
Yeah. We got this. Listen, we can build a boat.
Can I just say it is remarkable that what that little conversation we just had was exactly the same in 2013. Like,
yes,
I mean, we have grown up, marriage, divorce, kids, money, like everything, and we're still that conversation way we just had it is exactly the same as those 3 guys 15 years ago.
Dude, it's like when people sometimes will try to shame me for being 40, and they'll be like, oh, you're talking about Sydney Sweeney, you're 40, dude. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Like this is I am literally a Peter Pan fucking lost boy. I've never had to grow up. I can always have the dumbest
you talk about insurance like an idiot.
Like my brain has never had to progress.
As much as we haven't progressed, I think what I've noticed, the big reaction from a lot of the fans when we announced the ending is that we and the audience all kind of grew up together.
Yeah.
There were people who were like, I started listening to you when I was in like high school, and now I'm like late 20s. There were people who were like, I was the same age as you, and I got married and had kids at the same time and grew with you. So like, no matter what age you were at, you kind of had this coming of age occur with us. And I don't think we ever really had many lessons to offer, but it was very like you just had someone to commiserate with, or like, oh, I'm not going through it alone. And I think the best example of that was Feitelberg's 4 years. The 4-year funeral to your dreams was his college bit. And this was John's first, like, it's so funny because right now we're all like in the same status in life. But there was a point where I remember thinking like, John is like a young kid and he's like, we're like mentoring.
Oh, yeah.
him. And that was this right here, his first quarter life crisis reaction.
Let's stop with college questions because they make me so sad. Let me tell you college kids something right here, right now. You know what college is, and enjoy it. Don't worry about what you should have learned. College is a 4-year funeral for your dreams. That's it. When high school ended, like, 'cause even up until high school, you kind of have like that whole like, you're still like, I don't know, you have your dreams. You have like, even if you want to be an athlete, like you're still like, oh, I could maybe be Anthony Davis and fucking grow 6 inches and I'll be like I'll be a star soon. And you kind of have that in the back of your mind. There's that hope that you'll be something someday. And then once you get your high school diploma, it's dead. And then you go to college for 4 years, and that's the funeral. That's the funeral for your dreams. You know, like your friend, like a friend at a funeral, you're kind of just celebrating. It's like,
wait, let him go. Let him go, Dan. Let him get it out.
You're not really thinking about it. How you're like sad, and then when the funeral's over, like 3 days later, you kind of sit by yourself in a room and you start fucking crying because you're like, oh shit, I'm never gonna be that again. That's what fucking college is. 4 years of just drinking your fucking face up because nothing's ever gonna work out the way you want it to. Your life is fucking over.
Should have been pretty clear to me that mental health was going to be something I went down.
At the time, we were just like, this is hilarious. Like, this is clinical depression.
You're being a pussy today. The funniest thing about that clip, though, because now, obviously, Barstool's grown and we've all made a career out of this, but because if people watching that are like, how the fuck could you complain when you were working at Barstool right out of college, right? Like that, like John went from college to Barstool. But at that point in like our Barstool careers and Barstool, like as a company, I think we all had the thought in the back of our head, like, this is fun, but it's not going to last. And it's going to like be a flash in a pan. And we're going to have to someday sit in like a conference room with a resume with a fucking 3-year gap saying, so you did guess that ass for 3 years. Tell me about that. So like, I think that like that was real that John thought that. Like, you wouldn't think that now because again, we're the luckiest guys in the world to be able to have done this for so long and keep doing it. But at that time, I remember having those kind of same feelings every now and then being like, what am I doing again?
Bro, at that time, and I'm not doing this to be weepy because I was having a fucking blast, but at that time, I was living in a truly dilapidated apartment. like the building was condemned. That's why I lived there, because it was cheaper. I was living in a condemned building. I joined a gym so I could use a shower. Like, I was pretty down in the dumps, boys.
Remember, it was like, Hank had Hank lived in an apartment. He lived in a bedroom with no windows. It wasn't a bedroom. It was legally not a bedroom.
No, none of us had a hard upbringing, at least that I know of.
No.
None of, like, it's not a true sob story by any means. But there was, some sacrifices, or at least some truly, like, not pretty moments that, I mean, again, I think we were all happy to just ride through it. But there might have been other people who would have given up, or would have been like, fuck that, I got to do something else. And us sticking through it and just goofing off through like all of that shit is why we made it.
Do you guys remember the Friendlies lunch?
Was that when we went to luging?
Yes, yeah, on the way home to Toboggan.
Friendly? I thought. You're not talking about when we got banned from Applebee's. That was a different.
No. This was just like
okay.
No, that was the same trip. We got banned from Applebee's on that trip because we drank. Who knew that this is a possibility? But we went all time old school. I wish we could go back and do it. Like I know there's no chance we can, but I've always thought like just once, like let's go back to King Richard's Fair. Let's go do this. But we went to, where was it? It was like
it was in Maine.
Maine?
Yeah.
And
I think Belmont, Maine.
Yeah, and we were staying at a shitty hotel on the side of the highway, and there was an Applebee's attached or like next to it across the parking lot. And we went to the Applebee's for lunch, and we just stayed there. And they kicked us out because they're like, we're watching the cameras, and you guys have each had like 13 drinks.
But it was over the course of like 13 hours.
It was the full day.
I was like, I could drive a car right now.
Yeah, it was. I was so, and then we went. What really pissed them off is we went back to the hotel and changed clothes and came back, and we were like, all right, can we do a drink now? And they were like, get the fuck out of here.
What was the Friendlies lunch?
The Friendlies one I remember as like, I don't know why it sticks out to me so much, but I remember it was after that weekend. And I don't know if we were just tired, the three of us, or if like, but I remember that, at least for me, I remember in that moment at that lunch being like, I don't fucking know. Like it was, I remember we were complaining, we were commiserating about the fact that like, that was hard. that was a celebrity type weekend where it was like, I'm tired. We took pictures and all this, and we were like, it sucks being a celebrity and not having any money.
Yeah, I usually say we had it the worst. We had a level
it was like
we had a level of fame, at least within our community, that was like the real deal. And you had to take pictures. You had to worry about like being out in public or what you said or whatever. And then none of the money that usually balances out like, well, that sucks, but I'm rich. It was just like, that sucks and we're poor.
And Dave was getting rich. And the way I always described it was basically every bar you walked into was a gay bar for you personally. Because like guys would turn around and look at you and no chick would ever have, they're just like, what? Who the fuck is that guy?
Dude, that weekend, I have physical scars on my body from that toboggan trip. I remember I was behind Dave, and you're supposed to kind of put your legs like over each other's shoulders, kind of. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I wrapped around him, and he just pushed my knees out, and so my knee just ran along the fucking wall, like going 100 miles an hour in a toboggan. It just ripped the skin off of my knee. I have the scar today. I have scars. That was when Gaz got his dick sucked in the hotel right next to me. It was like 0 degrees.
In the same room. You were in the same room when he got his dick sucked. Yeah. I remember the next day you're like, oh, how's everyone sleep? It's like, well, I listened to Gaz get his dick sucked. And Fights and I were sharing a room. We're like, well, we ate 7,000 Swedish fish.
Oh. the juxtaposition of what was going on in the two rooms where Kevin was getting an ASMR of a Gaz blowjob, and we were so fat we couldn't get out of our ski suits. Because we had eaten so much candy.
Yes,
so we were just laying in bed in our ski suits. Like, we can't get these off.
Putting them on and taking them off that should have been the video. I don't know if there's footage of that, but they were like this big, the onesies, and somehow you stretched into I looked like a marshmallow with toothpicks in it. It was so bad.
It was so bad. And then we realized at the end, we went to this whole thing. We were outside. It was like 0 degrees. Like at the last hour, we found some stoolies who like welcomed us into their hut and gave us shots, and we're like, "Oh, this actually is fun. Why were we doing this the whole time?"
Yeah. And then do you remember we almost qualified?
Yes,
we almost made it to like the next heat by like a 1/10 of a second. We didn't, and I remember being like, "If we've got to do this again, I'm gonna fucking kill. I'm jumping off the mountain. I'm gonna kill myself." Oh man, that's the only thing I miss. Like, I guess we just do so much of that stuff now.
Yeah.
That it's kind of like you're inundated with it, but those were fun. In the moment, I was always probably complaining about them. I didn't want to travel. I didn't want to do like the physical challenges, all that shit. But looking back on them, those were always like so memorable. Those moments.
Oh, the best, yeah. Because I remember there was like a main bar that we went to that I want to say we were upstairs playing darts, and there was like maybe I don't know, like 20 stoolies there with us, and it was like the perfect vibes where everyone was having a good time. And it's like that's a moment in time that we will never get back, that you look back on, you're like, man, that was fun. Like that
was a truly great night.
Yeah,
all three of us remember that, playing darts in that bar upstairs.
Dude, you know when another one of those nights was? In Arizona like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When we were at the bar. And it was like, I think Shane came and Yelich was there, and they were like,
Bert showed up.
We were at like a fucking private bar, but it was a dive bar that no one else was at. Yeah, and it basically became our bar. It was like, this is a cool night.
I remember you guys were in the bathroom stall with Gillis, and it was like, well, we're doing one thing, but the crowd out there might think we're doing something else together in the bathroom.
It was Monday of Super Bowl week too. It was like, we're not going to go crazy. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to go crazy. And then he showed up to the bar. We're like, boom, we're going crazy.
That really is. Those are moments that you just said, like, you don't get those back. And listen, everyone's got more money and probably more opportunities and like know more people and all that sort of shit. So it's still fun, but man, those were, the nostalgia of that is overwhelming. I'm like, oh, take me back, man. Take me back to that.
Dude, I have a tattoo from it. I have a couple tattoos now, but one of them is a Grateful Dead lyric, "Standing on the Moon, but I'd rather be with you." And it's about like Jerry at the end of his career with the Grateful Dead being like, we made it to the moon, and I kind of wish I was right back at the beginning where it was very simple. And like that's a feeling that's real, you know, it's very real. And it's like, you have to like wrestle with it, but you also have to realize like you should just be very grateful that those things happened. And like I think about it, I know this is going to sound sappy, but like, you know, when you get to 40 and I'm sure you've had this, Kevin, and you probably have had this too, John, where you like start to kind of look back and you're like, man, like I've had a fucking unbelievable run in life, and like just be like, I just feel gratitude, and it's a lot because of the people who've listened and rode with us since day one, where it's like the gratitude I feel is like insane, just every day being like, man, I can't believe this all kind of worked out.
I know Dave is putting the book out in June, and I'm hoping that, you know, is great and opens more doors. But I really do believe if someone were ever to take on telling the story, whether it's autobiographical from our end or someone on the outside looking in, if you tell the whole tale, like, it's amazing.
It really is.
Truly, like, I think there's a reason why there has not been another Barstool since, and there wasn't one really before. Like, perfect timing, perfect ingredients, perfect storm, and I think it's a truly like revolution tale if it's told the right way and you tell every part of it.
Right. And like the toboggan weekend, like now with social media, like everyone can go do that, and they do, and we see it, you know, like everyone goes and does these things, and there's a lot of super creative, you know, content people out there who are making videos on TikTok and doing all this stuff, and there's no barrier to entry. But back then it was like it just felt like we would do a video and it felt like the biggest deal ever, because like, holy shit, we all got together for a video.
Yeah. That was good stuff. It was
By the way, I don't want to get too far away from this before I say that the video, that guy in the clip, despite the fact that he's got a whole host of problems, he's right.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. I still contend that as awesome as college was, I think like the first couple years out of college,
I think it depends on, I always said that, but I thought that was because I went to like a not fun college. But you went to a big time school and still felt that. I feel the 4 years from 22 to 26, or whenever you graduate, that thereabout, you have a little bit of money.
Yep.
You're living with, like, you choose to live with your friends who you want to live with. So you're not stuck in some dorm or whatever. And, you know, yeah, you have a job. That part sucks. But to me, you're just in much more control. And I guess it depends on where you went to school and then where you do your post-college. If you went somewhere awesome and then you go home to like a shitty small town. But for me, living in New York was way better than, you know, Fordham, the 4 years.
Yeah, I do. I think there's something, because you do get to like, and you get to just kind of do life without any real responsibilities. Like, you don't have kids, you don't have, you know, a family, a wife, all that stuff. And you're just kind of, and you have like, you don't have a lot of money, but you have my first salary out of college was 30 grand, but it still felt like so much money.
When I had a good job out of college, and then I got to double dip with splitting the Barstool money. And so I was making good money for like a 25-year-old. I was probably making like 100 grand, right? I feel back then that I had more financial freedom and more, like, it was easier then than now. Because to me, it's like money is one thing, but responsibility is piling up at the same time. Like, there was nothing to worry about then.
Nothing.
Not one fucking thing, dude.
No, it really was. Yeah, it's crazy. Like to think back to it. Like, you take trips with friends, and like that doesn't happen anymore. Where it's like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to go on a trip with all my friends and like leave my family for a weekend. Like, you can't. But that would just be like, oh yeah, let's go to this. Let's go do this. Oh, we'll get a cabin in the woods. Oh, okay, let's go get drunk for 4 days.
So wait, John, you still think the 4 years of college are your best life period?
No, that's not what I was saying in that video.
I guess you're right. I'm kind of, inferring that.
It's you're at a funeral, brother. You're sad. You're drinking, but you're sad. That video is clearly a depressed man who failed out of college. That's all that video is.
For John, it's an 8-year funeral for
your
dreams.
Yeah. It's also crazy to think about, like, when you go to college and then graduate, like the 4 years is nothing. It's nuts how fast 4 years go by. Yeah. And it's just like, because I don't know, I'm whatever, 18 years out of college now. It's like, oh shit, that happened fast. I'm 40.
But he also, I'm like, it's like, I do think it's right that, like, it is, you're not gonna, your dreams when you go to college are not your dreams when you end.
No,
they are not gonna come.
You have recalibrated your dreams.
But our dreams got better.
I think.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Dan, would you say that this was like a dream or a goal of yours?
No.
No, me neither. And I don't know if anybody, maybe Dave, because he like set out to do this. But I was gonna say, I think the reason why this worked is because it wasn't a dream that you fixated on and like and tried to force. It was like it just happened, so it just happened. You know what I mean?
Right. It also like, I guess like gave us the ground to find our dream. Does that make sense? Is that
probably once we got going, then it's like, I want to do stand up or I want to do this. Or
like when I told the New Orleans story on the show, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I knew I was like, the reaction it got out of you guys, I was like, that's fun, telling fun, wacky stories.
Interesting.
That's what I like.
Yeah, and I do think that like Dave, and he would probably agree with this, like the hiring people now is a lot more difficult because you do hire people who their dream is to work at Barstool and they don't have the life experience, whereas like we had jobs, then came to Barstool, so like the work ethic was there and like hey, this is how you conduct yourself in a real job does give you like a leg up when it comes to like, hey, we're talking about the easiest job in the world comparatively. But like when we had to blog 12 times a day, and I like being so scared of the clock, being like, oh, it's another 30 minutes. We got to fucking write something. Like, holy shit, I
don't know if that exists anymore, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just, if you came of age in COVID and then into the way the world is now, like it used to be like, yeah, you have a boss and he kind of kicks your ass, but you like learn and you figure it out and you're on a clock and you work these days and all that. And now it's sort of just like this wishy-washy do whatever, I feel like we did benefit from a way in being a little bit old school. We were new enough that we're in the new age, but old school enough that we did it right.
And we were scared of Dave.
Yeah. But like,
being scared of Dave was good.
Thing, like you need to be afraid of a boss. And nowadays it's like, I'm going to quiet quit because you violated my rights. And it's like, yeah, well, it's not going to work out for anybody then.
No, we were very scared of Dave. I think about it all the time, just getting an email, Dave's famous emails where he would write the whole email in the subject line.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be anything in the actual email. Like, do not write about this. And I was like, oh, fuck.
As a boss, Dan, do you do anything different or the same because of Dave? Like, do you do stuff that you're like, oh, that worked, I'm gonna do that, or different?
And did you also have a moment where it was like, I'm not afraid of you anymore. I gotta like treat you as not my equal, but like, kind of on the same level?
It's been a struggle. It's been really hard. It's not been easy. Like the last couple of years have not been easy in terms of trying to navigate it. And I actually apologized to Dave in Saratoga this summer because I was just like, hey, all those times I thought you were being a dick, like you actually were right. Like you were thinking about the company over, self. And that's the hardest part is like people will everyone inherently is self-motivated and thinks like, about their own world and not everyone else's. So when you have a combination of a bunch of people only thinking about themselves and then you have to be in charge of that and give them hard truths of like, hey, this is not about you. It's about like what works for the company. It's hard. And the craziest thing is like, it's way lonelier than I thought. And I mean that by you get to a point where you realize like, I'm friends with everyone in the office or most people in the office, but realizing that they will act differently around you is like kind of a sobering thing where it's like, oh, we're friends but we can't really have the same relationship. You're going to treat me differently because I'm technically your boss or whatever. It's very lonely. I mean, it's the nice thing is I obviously have like Hank and PFT and the PMT crew where it's like we've done this all together. So it's like, they don't treat me any different, but it's really hard to walk around and be like, I remember like at like Camp Barstool, what we do every summer, like coming down to the campfire and watching everyone like getting drunk together. And then I show up and like, you can kind of feel the vibe shift a little. And you're like, fuck, I'm the vibe shift.
Is that vibe shift? Do you feel a little bit of power from that, or do you feel like a loser?
No, I feel like a loser, and it sucks because I want to just be like, "Hey guys, I want to just hang out too and listen to songs and like get drunk," but then I think it's just kind of what it is. You know what I mean? You just have to accept it and just be like, "All right, it's a little different now." This is
because even if you're a cool vibe, when this person gets drunk and says something they shouldn't, and you've seen it and heard it, and it's like, well, now I have to do something because I'm the
Yeah.
boss, but like I didn't want to, but you did it
Right.
right in front of me. So it's like it's better to just not.
It's like when David Wallace saw Michael and fucking Holly kissing. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't want to have to do something about this, but I gotta.
Right. And
This
there's
is
just
a
always
David Wallace reference for the last KFC Radio bingo. Check it off. Yes, let's go.
But it is. It's always having like little, everyone's problem they think is the biggest problem. And when, 20 people come to you with a problem in a week and you're like, hey, look, it's not every single thing that you bring to me is not the most important thing, but it is to them. So you like balancing that. But yeah, it was funny having to apologize to Dave and just be like, yeah, I didn't realize how lonely it was. And it's like, even, like Dave had, when we had that big fight with him, Kevin, about the, what was it? The G-Check or no, the Kanye crew? What do you call us?
Club Cool.
Club Cool. Like I get it. That was probably Dave wrestling with the exact same thing that I've had to deal with the last couple of years, where it's like, yeah, we're not going to invite our boss to Kanye. Like, why would we? And so like, and he was probably going through that exact moment that I've been going through, where it's like, you got to just realize, yeah, you're not going to get invited to a party of all these people. It's not because they don't like you. It's because you change the
Because they're terrified of you.
Right.
Fellas, you already know what time it is. It is time to level up, and BlueChew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt gold-plated energy good. BlueChew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. This ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking about 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. BlueChew Gold dissolves under your tongue and works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation is what I'm saying. This is peak passion and peak performance in a single tablet. If your bed could talk after this, it would be asking for a break. Make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of BlueChew Gold with code KFC. That's promo code KFC. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast. Fabletics is the most comfy workout wear in the world. Athleisure, activewear, whatever it is you want to call it. Fabletics has the best in the business. When you sign up as a new VIP, you get 80% off everything. The quality is really surprising. These pieces feel like kind of high-end activewear you'd pay $200 for, but you're getting that level of quality at a fraction of the price. That makes the membership feel like it pays for itself. And the fit and feel are dialed in. No waistbands rolling down. No joggers that do actually keep their shape. Jackets that are warm and without the bulk. It solves the usual issues you'd had with activewear while still being soft, breathable, and durable enough for workouts, travel, or everyday wear. It also helps knowing that Fabletics has built a community of over 2 million VIP members and more than 100 retail stores, which makes you feel like you're joining something people already love and rely on. It's been worked out. It's all handled. You know it. You're getting the best version of it. Fabletics already has the amazing deals, but right now they're running their biggest sale of the year on top of that. And I've got an exclusive offer just for you. 80% off everything when you sign up as a VIP. Head to fabletics.com/KFC and sign up as a VIP to get 80% off everything. That is what I said. This is only available through my link, our link. So go to fabletics.com/KFC to sign up as a VIP and get 80% off. That's fabletics.com/KFC.
But we're going to do, we have some new voicemails to get into, but before I play that, do you think that this is it for you? And I say that, I don't mean to diminish it, but like John's going to go do like acting and stand up, like almost like a pivot to a whole new thing. I've always said, like, if I had, pardon my take, if I had that level of success, I'd be done. I'm not innovating. Yeah. I'm not changing. I'm not trying to keep up. You conquered it. You've got enough money. And obviously do the yak. Like, I'm not saying just do that, but is this iteration of you think it?
Yeah, this is it. I mean, and it's a good feeling to have, to be like, because there was the start of PMT when it was like, oh, we got to get on TV, and it's so funny the Fox thing happened after. I mean, you guys both know, like, we were trying to get on TV, whether it be Comedy Central, all these things, taking the meetings. We spent 10 years trying to get on TV. Then we stopped in the last couple of years, and Fox was like, hey, you guys want to get on TV? It's like, what the fuck?
It's like a girl trying to find a husband. When you stop looking, you'll finally find it.
Yeah. But no, it's an awesome feeling, because obviously I know there will be a point in time where people will be like, oh, these guys are fucking lame. They're old, whatever. But if people are still listening, I've told PFT this, I've told Hank this, like, I want to do Pardon My Take until like all my kids are in college. And that's another 16 years. My youngest is 2. So it's like there's nothing. What's the alternative? I don't do Pardon My Take, and then PFT comes over and watches Sunday football with me, and we just like sit and talk about the games.
You might as well press record.
Might as well press record. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice knowing that like and I think it is a rare thing in this business, because I do think that the media business, everyone's always like more. You got to climb the ladder. And after the ESPN thing happened, people will say that this is just, speaking in hindsight, but like it was the best thing that could have happened, because it did tell us that the Stoolies and the fans that are listening, that's more than enough. You don't need more. You don't need to be this big thing, this TV star. You don't need to do all these things. You have an audience that loves you. Just serve them. And so that's pretty much my, is serving them. And yeah, I said it on Chris Long's podcast a couple months ago. Everyone in the office freaked out because I was like, I want to unwind in the next like few years. And that wasn't like stop doing PMT or the Yak. It was like stop doing some of the travel stuff. Stop doing like all the other ancillary shows that do bring in money, but finding people that can step in for that and start making money for the company so that I don't have to work 80 hours a week. That's all that is. Like, I want to do the perfect life is in 10 years if I'm just still doing PMT and we're just, but I'm not doing everything else, and I'm not traveling as much, but I'm still doing the show and talking ball with my friends.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
It is. It's incredible. It's like I said, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, and we all are just to be on this ride. It's insane.
And I will say the number one thing I think is the most impressive is the longevity, because I don't remember who it was, but there was always a show here or there that would like go to number 1 on the rankings and maybe take a shot at you or PMT or Barstool. And I remember a couple times you guys being like, do it for 5 straight years. And then it was like, do it for 8 straight years. And now however many years you're at, like when you can hold down the number 1 or top 5 or top 10 for a decade, then talk to me.
We didn't see the Kelsey Taylor Swift thing coming, but I still don't understand. Let me just say this. I still don't understand how the numbers work, because if you look, we're always ahead of them. So at the end of the year, they're always like, hey, this is the number 1 sports podcast. That's fine. And I like both those guys. They do a great show, but yeah, it's doing it consistently over and over every single week for 10. We're coming up on 10 years now.
You're the Always Sunny of a podcast. It's like
just keep making them.
The nominations and the lists and the rankings aren't going to put you there, but every single fan is like, oh, the funniest show is that one over there. What do you guys fucking talking about?
Which is a great place to be. We got nominated for a Golden Globe, and then we looked into it. We had to like submit stuff, and we're like, nah,
fuck that.
Wait,
it's paperwork. No.
I've never done paperwork in my life. If it helps you get a Golden Globe,
I was going to say, we'll do it for you. You should do that.
Hell no. If someone wants to just give us an award, we'll take it, but we're not doing any extra work to try to get an award.
I'm with you as far as like Webbies and things like that go. We start talking Golden Globes.
The Globes?
We're talking,
dude, but they're like not the real Golden Globes. They're like the fake podcast Golden Globes.
Dan's going to one day be nominated for an Oscar, and he's going to be like, I had to give him like my address. I didn't want to do it.
Well, the one thing I do regret is we should have submitted. We were saying they like wanted us to submit like 5 minutes of our work, and we didn't do this, but we were saying like we should just submit like the worst 5 minutes we've done, like the 5 minutes where we argued about time zones. For 5 minutes, and people are like, "What the fuck are they talking about? Move on." Like, just be like, "Hey, here's us. This is it."
But like, I bet there are people out there be like, remember the time zones on PMT? Those are the things that resonate the most.
Dude, the best compliment I ever got was like maybe 6 months ago. I wish I knew who sent it to me. I think it was a DM, or might have been just a tweet. Someone called PMT Idiot Jazz. And I was like, that's it. Idiot Jazz. Like, you don't know where it's going, but we're always going to be idiots.
Idiot Jazz is very good stuff.
So good.
All right, let's play the final batch of voicemails in KFC radio history.
By the way, I wanted to say, Dan, you were saying like the show being not happening originally was like the best thing to happen to you.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. And I think we do that thing where we go through phases, like we did it with Shane too, where it's like, this is the best thing that ever happened to you. And for a while, it feels like absolutely not. It feels like would have
No.
really preferred to have that show.
Mhm.
And then after like 3 years, you're like, oh wait, this is fucking
Yeah.
If you were like
better.
toiling away, like listening to ESPN execs, like editing your show every week, it would have been terrible,
Well,
man.
It also taught us a great lesson that like you can't go into business with someone that doesn't that you have to like drag into business with.
Yeah.
They gave us no budget. Like all these shows
Yeah.
that are on ESPN, they have writers and all this stuff. We had nothing. We had to do it all ourselves, and they were paying us nothing. And it's like that should have been a pretty big warning sign that they have invested zero in it. So when shit hits the fan, they will walk away so easily.
Yep. All right, let's do it. We got
happy to cut it off. Yeah. Happy to lance.
Probably the number one stoolie in the world, I would have to imagine. Wally Mario has been a guy who's he knows us better than we know ourselves. He's been helping the company and watching everything since day one. This is his first voicemail though, which is kind of crazy. So let's let it rip.
What's up, Kevin? Fights, Dan, Babs, Jackie. It's your boy Mario. First time, longest time. Yeah, it's been awesome following along these last almost 14 years of the show's journey, and it's pretty cool to have a very minuscule part of the lore myself. But yeah, now we're older, more mature. Some of us are wiser, so like we would never think the same way we did to a hypothetical or a question back in 2013, 2014. Like we would never put a baby in a microwave for only 1 second now. Like we've learned, like we're smarter. But same comes to asking the questions. Like maybe back then I'd ask something like, would you rather fuck a goat, but nobody knows about it? Or would you rather not fuck a goat and everyone thinks you fucked a goat? I know, tough questions. But I think now it's more of a thinking man's kind of game. Like say you picked up a book, you're reading the book, you realize it's just your life story. Every word, every thought you've ever had is on those pages. You get to the present day. Do you keep reading? You stop, you flip to the end. What do you do? It's been a pleasure, guys. Stay safe on those internet streets, everybody.
Oh,
it's philosophical. It's philosophical.
Good question.
Man. You know what I think to me, it depends on how many pages are left.
Yeah.
If you get to present day and there's 2 pages left, yeah, you better live it up, bud, because apparently you only got like a day left.
Wait, this is a no-brainer. This is.
I know. John's putting this book down immediately.
No
shot.
chance.
Yeah.
Oh no, John, you're lying though. You're lying. Because, no. Because I also would love to say I'm going to put that book down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover my eyes and just kind of like look through and be like, and then you see something like, oh shit.
John is throwing that book in the fire.
I have genuinely, I have no desire to see that book. Why would I want to see it? It's just a spoiler for my whole fucking life, guys. I'd rather.
But then you could be smarter.
Yeah, I mean, this also begs the question: like, if you read the next couple pages, do the fucking words in the back of the book change because now you've changed the outcome? Unless the book know that you were gonna read it, and then that's part of the story, and then we get all circular. I'm in a fucking Interstellar type movie.
What age? So this is a great question because it makes me think about everything. What age, if you were to say like you're told when you're gonna die, and no one wants to know when they're gonna die because you think in your head you're like, oh fuck, like I got this. But what age would you be comfortable with? Where you're like, okay, I'm okay knowing that I'm gonna die at 85. Is it like 85? Because you don't. If you read the back of the book and you die at 45, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think the sweet spot is low 80s, I think, for me.
I agree. Sweet spot's low 80s. If I got back of low 70s, I'd go, I get it.
But then
I
know
was
that changes.
pretty hard.
You know that changes. You get to, if you said like 80, you're going to die at 80. When you're 77, you're like, fuck, this is fun. I want to keep doing this.
Dude, that my grandfather passed somewhat recently now, but like my mom always said that, where she was like, he was just like, why would I, like, you don't, in theory, you don't want to die until it's time to, or in theory, like, you don't really care. It's not that big a deal until it's time to die. And you're like, wait, I do not want to do this.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, as tough as things might get, like, this is it. This is all you got.
Yeah.
But then, so why would I want to know everything? Like that would dull the rest of my life to such an incredible extent. I'd walk around going, yeah, I fucking knew that was coming. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the question is, can you alter it if you knew about it? So if you read something tragic happened when you did XYZ and you just avoid it, that would be, if there's no way to change it and it's just set in stone, I think I would like skim. I think I'd be like, I would know the tent poles. Like, I don't know what happens between now and 50, but apparently when I'm 50, I'm going to be living in Australia. I don't know how, but like, maybe
you know what the easiest argument to make against reading it is you'd become a person who walks around going, the book was better about you.
No, that's an awesome place to be. That's why I read every Michael Lewis book. Because I know they're going to make a movie out of it, and I can say that shit to people. The real answer though is I would say no, and then every now and then I'd open to a random page and be like, "Oh, okay," and then I'd close it. Just be like, "No, I don't read. I'm not reading that book. I'm not reading that book." But then late at night, you just open it, and you're like,
"You know what we do? All three of us read each other's books, and then I can just be like, John." I really wouldn't get on that plane today. I'm just saying, like, don't do it, man.
Yeah, but
also I would fuck with you guys so hard.
I was gonna say we couldn't trust each other.
Yeah,
never in a million years do you trust each other.
Oh, you're gonna really eat that?
Speaking of getting on planes, I was telling you earlier, I went to the Vineyard this weekend, and it was very windy. And my mom called me before the flight and went, "Ooh, gonna be JFK Jr." And I was like, "What the fuck,
Holly? Holy shit!"
Oh,
She's
man,
so gangster, man. She is.
By the way, JFK Jr. was a stud,
big time stud. They're making a movie about him.
I didn't realize. I ended up following a random Instagram account that's very weird. It's just like JFK Jr. pictures, and that guy was like he was just playing. I don't know. Whatever. Don't even ask that. Whatever. Just go with the fact that I'm now following a JFK Jr. Instagram page. But like shirt off in Central Park playing touch football every Sunday. Just the most like living in a loft apartment, driving around in his Saab with a kayak on top. Like what a fucking man. Remember Saabs? Saabs don't exist anymore.
I know, they're just gone, right? They're just gone.
Saab was a good car. I actually just saw there's like an actors on actors show, and it's Stellan Skarsgård and Alexander Skarsgård, who are father and son talking to each other. And they wait, I forget why I'm saying this. What did you just say?
Sorry, just bail. Saabs are good cars.
Oh yeah, he's talking about Alexander is telling his dad he wishes when he was growing up that he was just a regular guy in Sweden driving a Saab and going to work in an accounting firm. And the whole time Alexander Skarsgård is now in a dress saying he wishes he had a more regular upbringing. Like, you're in a dress right now.
John, you got to. I think I've seen you do this recently, John, and I've co-opted it. But I just have been bailing on stories when I start them, and I'm like, I don't know where it's going. So I'm out. Like, I'll just leave people with a cliffhanger. I'll start talking, and then just be like, yeah, you know what? It's not going anywhere good. So
how is your memory these days, Dan? Because mine is like I started to get concerned. I think I even said this to the guys once. John, you can tell me if I did. A couple of years ago, I was getting so bad at the dozen. And
yes.
I was like, I think I have Alzheimer's. I think I have early onset Alzheimer's because these are things I know that I knew. And now I can't even come up with it. I got actually scared because of the dozen.
I retired from the dozen this year. Part of it was because I like every question was like, I should know this. And I have no idea. I had a moment the other day. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Nicky Smokes is like just, he doesn't know anything about Barstool. So he just watches old like stool scenes and stuff. And he was like, hey, that was crazy that you got robbed by your cleaning people. And I was like, what? I got robbed? And he pulled up a TikTok of a cleaning person in HQ1 in New York stealing like $1,000 out of my wallet. And I had no memory of it. I was like, holy fuck, that's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's happening.
But there's also so much. I'm almost like, oh, I'm so blessed to have lived this life. I can't even remember it. But like, we'll be watching a show and I'm like, yo, did you see that show on Apple? Jason Clarke is unbelievable. And John's like, yeah, he was a good interview. And I'm like, we talked to him?
Yes.
What? Like entire, like almost A-list celebrities that I just forget. I'd imagine for you, that's even times 10.
Yeah. There's definitely the best was.
Dude, you guys have it like I thought this was like maybe a month or two ago, maybe a little more than that. I forget. But like you guys so casually drop like the biggest interviews. Like I was like, it's a Wednesday afternoon. no big deal, just a Joe Burrow, Adam Silver. I remember that was one podcast.
And
I
you
was like,
coupled them
I was like
together.
the hottest
you were
quarterback
like,
and the
we'll just
NBA
throw
commissioner
both of those in there.
one show.
It is pretty crazy. Like, it does kind of blow my mind when we have like I try not to be jaded, but there are moments where I'm like, dude, you don't realize like that was a big fucking deal. You just interviewed the commissioner. But the best like not remembering interview story that I have is I do a hit on ESPN Chicago. I've been doing it for like 10 years every Wednesday with Waddle and Sylvie, great guys. And we were talking about Joakim Noah and Tibbs. And I was like, yeah, Tibbs, like getting the Bulls bugging his office his last year here was probably not a great thing. Like, and they're like, what are you talking about? We've never heard that story. And they Googled it, and the top result is me asking Joakim Noah about that story 6 years ago. So I started that story. It's not even a real story. I started it.
It's like storyception. It just comes in a circle. That's fucking hilarious. I do feel that way. So the only thing that pisses me off is we'll see like a hypothetical go like mega viral, and like, a new podcast is like launched because these guys said, would you rather fight a gorilla or 100 men or whatever, and I'm like, we did all of these. We did all, and we can't just do them again. Like, fuck, we already did that, guys. Go listen to ours, not theirs. There's so many in the annals.
I love the animal hypotheticals because I know we used to do them, and like I said that I could take down a bear, and it's just so funny because it pisses people off so bad, and it's just I'm the biggest pussy in the world because I know, like, hey, heart of hearts, probably can't take down a bear, but I'm also never gonna have to fight a bear. So
I love the fact you just paused right there. Like, I'm still not ready to admit it.
I'm not. I remember I had the whole pit about how I could take down any animal because I could just snap their neck. I'd snap their windpipe. I was like, oh yeah, cow, I'll fucking snap its windpipe.
All right, next voicemail.
Dude, wait, by the way, for some reason, that made me laugh. It reminded me about something else you said that made me laugh recently, Dan. You had a tweet yesterday that was about spilling on yourself after 35.
Yep.
And then you go, just try your best to eat over sinks or trash cans. Outside of that, it's in God's hands.
Dude, I don't know what happened. I never was a spill guy. And in the last couple of years, once a week, I'll just look down and there'll just be food on my shirt. And I'm like, what the fuck? So now, like, I know that people probably talk shit about me in my office where everyone in that office has seen me eat like a full sandwich just standing over a trash can like this, like with my ass out, because I'm like, I don't want to spill, but that's just what you got to do.
Dude, I did something similar this morning. I was coughing so hard, I just went over the sink. I was just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I just
like
gotta get over
preparation, like, who knows?
Bro, I was so sick. I was so sick this morning and was coughing so hard that at one point I thought I was gonna die. Not like really, really thought it, but in my head I was going, all right, dude, we gotta mix it and inhale here because like it's just a lot of
gotta get some oxygen. All right, whatever, Jackie, we got
KFC fights. Dan, what up? First time, long time. I got a question for Big Cat. He's talked recently about how shoveling snow is one of his more favorite types of workouts.
Ugh.
It's cold out, get a little sweaty, push some snow around, go back inside. Got that nice layer of sweat on you. Let's talk business. Let's open up a snow shoveling gym.
Oh,
What do you have to do? Shovel snow.
Honestly,
I don't know the logistics behind it, but I'm confident that if you could move an entire office to Chicago, you probably could figure out how to get snow inside.
This is a perfect type voicemail for our final episode because this is a great original thought. I love
Yes.
it. It's a good business. It's a good workout. And there's part of me that's like, I think Dan has the resources and ability to maybe make this a reality now.
This is so smart. Now, this is going to suck for people whose job is to shovel snow because they're like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, but those people, the loggers, people have been losing their jobs to workouts for a while now.
That's true. That's true. But this is genius because we've got a lot of snow in Chicago to start the winter. And there's not many things. I'm not a manly man, so there's not many things that I can do that are like, wow, job well done. But snow is one of them. And like, I've become such a dad, and like, you know, you look at the forecast, it's like, all right, we're going to get 8 inches. Got to stay on top of it. Got to be out there every 2 hours. Got to get the base level off.
You're out there like that?
Yes.
Dude,
it's fucking awesome.
So
you are entirely too wealthy to do that, Dan.
Oh, dude. My neighbor 2 down has heated sidewalks, and he just big dogs me the whole time. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, my dad to this day is like that.
Moving. Yeah, I feel like the Feitelbergs will shovel until they're like dead.
Dude, that's actually a great point. I guarantee my dad will never have anyone else shovel, but he's out there every 2 hours.
Yes.
Type thing. But in kind of in the same way as you, Dan, we're like, he'll hold it over my head, but he likes that shit.
Yeah.
He's an active choice to go fucking do that shit and then hold it over my head.
Because I do not have anything that makes me feel like a man. Like dude, I had when my firstborn was born, I had a guy, I task rabbited a guy to come and build his crib. Do you know how emasculating that is to have another man come in your home and while you sit on the couch and watch a game and he builds
fuck your wife at that point.
Yeah, he builds your child's crib. I can't do shit, but shoveling snow I can do.
Wait, for real. What do you think is the most manly thing about you? If you really had to pinpoint it.
I mean, it's probably just that I like love football, so that's not even
probably.
a thing.
Yeah. Like Feitelberg's
so that's not even a thing.
That's every single guy.
I think Feitelberg is a man. Feitelberg is like, you're like you're weird. You're like a boy and a girl and a man all at once. Like you're Peter Pan boy. You're also kind of a chick, like the way you dress and stuff, like Madam Feitelberg, like we've always said. But then also you're like the strongest fucking guy I know, and like I feel like you could like chop down a tree tomorrow and like take care of that for me.
I'll fucking take this, dude. I didn't know where this was going, but
yeah,
kind of a little boy, a woman, and a man all in one.
You're well rounded, bro.
Yeah,
that's great.
There.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I that's a good compliment because I'm soft as fuck. Like I'm just at the point where I throw money at every problem, just like.
Oh, that's who I am to a T. Dan, I got injured the other day just from sitting with my legs crossed.
Oh,
I couldn't
that
walk.
will do it. That will do it.
I was Googling it. I was like, I wasn't playing sports. I didn't have an injury. Like nothing happened. And I Googled it and they were like, were you sitting down with your legs crossed for a while? And I was like, yes, I was. And it's like, you have a pinched nerve in your calf. And I was like, I can't even sit anymore, dude.
Dude, yesterday I got so out of breath. Like you would have thought I was running a marathon. I got so out of breath. What I got out of breath from was I was eating the buffalo wings too fast. And I like had to stop and like tap my head and be like, slow down, dude. You're just eating these too fast.
You had to give yourself a tap on the head.
Take a break.
Oh, easy there, big guy.
Like the last bite didn't go. Like I had to spit out the last bite because I was like, it's breathing or eating right now, and you're losing this battle.
Out the food so I could breathe.
Dan goes to the hospital. He's like, I want to get intubated. They're like, that's only for really sick people. He's like, just fucking intubate me and get these wings down.
Yeah, the doctor just like writes a prescription. It's like, chew your food. That's it. You'll be just fine.
Now, wait, as far as the actual business goes, I know people probably want the real deal snow, but I feel like logistically it's got to be like sand or something that you can always have on the spot, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Just have
it's got to be.
It's got to be the snow, though.
It's got to be snow. And
yeah.
Look, thank God I'm in the room right now because I can find you snow. I can find you snow anywhere in America. You go to hockey rinks. Get it from the Zambonis. Bring that to your gym. Bingo bango.
So we need just almost like it just is an ice rink. You have to buy an ice rink and turn it into a gym.
Probably should make this a one-stop shop.
Yeah,
But
everything
that's
in one
because
spot.
the sand wouldn't work because part of the snow shoveling experience is getting that little bit of sweat while it's cold, while you're cold.
Right.
That's the best feeling. And then
And
coming
you gotta
inside
be
and warming
in the
up.
hat
Yeah.
and gloves and all that. So it's got to be cold where you're at. And also when you get some real heavy, wet snow, that's the heaviest thing in the world.
Oh, yeah.
It's harder to
Yeah.
shovel that than like bricks.
Yeah.
Dude, there's nothing more masculine feeling than when you have to take off your jacket because it's too hot.
Yep.
You're too hot, so you're like, I'm fucking in my t-shirt out here, shoveling the snow like a goddamn man.
And dude, it's so lame that I'm going to say this, but I really do, like, when I'm crushing a snowstorm, I will absolutely like look down the block and judge and be like, you're dude, what are you doing? Like,
I judge myself. I had the guys showed up to work on the house today, and I hadn't shoveled, and I was like, these are real men. They work with their hands, and they're showing up to my house that's covered in snow. They can't drive down the driveway. I'm pathetic. I'm not a man. I'm not even a human.
Oh, I love this gym idea.
This is appropriate though, because I will say, in terms of snow stories, Feitelberg, the first Feitelberg blog that ever jumped out at me, where I was like, this guy's got it, was when he talked about the universal feeling of when you're pushing the shovel along and it hits the crease in the sidewalk, and then the handle hits your dick.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, I've done that. He's done that. We've all done that. And Feitelberg articulated it perfect. I was like, this guy can blog.
I have one crease on my sidewalk that fucks me up every time.
Every time.
And it drives me insane.
Yeah, that
was the same blog that Dave also really liked. And that's kind of one of those things where you realize you're like, it's not that hard what we do.
No, it's really not. But you know what? It's not, but it's
like two people were like, this is the fucking blog, right?
Oh, fuck, that crease? You got that too?
But it's not hard, but it is. I think it's a little bit of a talent to identify, like, oh, this is a quirky thing about me, and then you're like, wait, no, this is universal, and everyone's gonna relate to it.
Yeah.
I have it when I knew that I liked Dave was when he talked about his big game boxer briefs. Like if you're having a chick over for the first time, you put on a pair that you know looks good and the right brand. And I was like, fuck, I do that too. And then from there on out, my whole blog career was like just identifying those things that everyone can relate to.
Yeah. Noticing the little things and being like, yeah, everyone does this.
What do we got? One more, you think? Let's do one more and call it.
Pause real quick and pee real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
You're good.
What do you think is your worst moment for PMT? Like interview or a take or something you fucked up and you wish you had back?
Ooh. I mean, obviously the ESPN stuff, but like what I was saying earlier, when we get someone in trouble, do you remember it was either last year or the year before when we had Carissa Thompson on and she said something like, you know, sometimes in the halftime interviews, I'll like make it up because I wasn't able to.
Yes.
And then it became this fucking huge deal. And she had to apologize on Thursday Night Football. And those are the moments where I'm like, fuck. And then also we did interview Karl Malone during COVID, and I did not read up a lot about him. That one, hand up. Everyone was like, I cannot believe you had him on. And I was like, what do you mean? And then I read more. I always knew there was like, it was one of those guys, you knew there was something, but you didn't actually like read into it. And, you know, as children of the 90s, like we just remember like Karl Malone, like the mailman. Yeah, right. Like, and yeah, that one, I was like, oh, fuck. I probably should have done a little more research.
we not nearly as bad, but maybe, I don't know. We interviewed Chris D'Elia, like I think we were like his last interview before things popped off. And I remember being like, for the internet featuring D'Elia, like, here we go. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny how much, like when you've been around long enough, you know, heroes become villains and villains become bad guys. You know, it's like, you never know how those interviews are going to age. But
it's also great because we're at a point now where I think we have enough history and also like maturity where we just realize that like, if there's a controversy, if there's something that happens, it's going to pass. It always passes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just, you know, you just keep moving on. And that's just what happens. So yeah, that interview, like in the moment, I was like, oh, fuck, this is the end of us. And then, you know, people get mad and then they forget.
Also, I think we actually just talked about that the other day, that it's as corny and cliche as it is, getting up when you get knocked down. And then once you realize that you have the longevity where it's like, all right, this is not good, and I might take a little bit of a hit, but like the fans seem to stick with me, so I'll be around, you know?
Right.
And then also the fans, they know you by now, where it's like, if something has gone south, it's not because you're trying to gotcha or trying to get attention. It's like, this just unfortunately happened, but they know your intent by now. That's a good part of being around for 15 years.
Big time. Yeah, and I know I've said it a million times on the show, but it really is a testament to our fans because they do ride with us, and it's like they know it's great knowing when like the world feels like it's closing in, that like there are people who have your back, and it's something that you realize, and you're like, this is fucking awesome.
I wonder if I'd have to ask younger people at Barstool, but I wonder if like are telling people like what you just said, Dan, like people forget.
Yeah.
Helpful because we like not that we didn't have it, no one had it because it didn't exist. The internet hadn't been around long enough for someone to go, hey, I've seen this before. I've seen this life cycle. You'll forget about it. They'll all forget about it. It felt like for real, people will never forget. It's all, it's the only thing anyone's telling you. I wonder if nowadays people will understand at a better level, like people will forget about this.
I think it's really hard if you find yourself being the main character of the internet for even like a day. Like like Jack Mack had the thing with the LSU player. It sucked. And I reached out to him and I was like, dude, look, this sucks. Like you probably wish you could have some of these tweets back, but if in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, yes, there will always be people who will respond and be dicks. But the majority of people have moved on, and it's going to be fine. And like I think it's just really hard when you feel like the whole fucking internet's like on top of your head.
Yeah. And I can speak from experience. Even if they don't move on, and it's like 10 years later, you'll still be all right. You just keep going.
Right. And it's just the same like 5 people that are going to keep bringing up like your worst moments, and then and you just kind of reach this point where you're like, all right, those people are like shitting on me for things that are probably going on in their life, and I'm not, what can you do about it?
All right, last voicemail and we'll wrap it up.
Aura Frames is the hidden gem that becomes the favorite gift long after the wrapping paper is gone. Everyone in your life, if you're home for the holidays, you will see has an Aura frame. Grandparents, parents, kids. Well, not kids don't really have them, but the parents and the grandparents have them to watch the kids, to see the kids grow. It allows you to personalize your gift. That is what getting an Aura frame does. You can add a message before it arrives. Personalize your gift for Nana. For anybody. For literally anybody, this is a good gift for them. But you will see them at every house you go to over the holidays. You can preload photos before it even ships, so you can keep adding pictures from anywhere, anytime. Just keep adding the new shots of the kids. Keep adding the new beautiful pictures you're taking of landscapes, and I don't know, whatever it is you're doing. That's your own business. Not me. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you, It's got a gift box included. Every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. So don't wait. Win the holidays now with Aura Frames. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code KFC at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code KFC. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply. Jackpots are the talk of the town this holiday season. Powerball, Mega Millions. Everyone is watching those numbers climb. I think Powerball's up in the billions right now. One of them is up in the billions. That is why we've partnered with Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app, because they will alert you to upcoming drawings and always keep you part of the buzz. You can order official lottery tickets right from your phone and get a photo from your real tickets in the app. Over $1 billion in lottery prizes have been won using Jackpocket. Try it for yourself. Jackpocket. And also, Kevin's not here, so I have to do that ad read. But you also have scratchers. You have Powerball. Yeah, Powerball's at 1.1 billion right now. Goodness gracious. Mega Millions, 80 million. We'll throw in there now for the Powerball. Let's see what we got. $6 on the quick picks. Slide to a process. Bang. Done. I'm in the game. You got to be in the game. You got to be in the game when $1 billion is on the line. New Jackpocket customers will get $5 in free lottery credits. Opt in and use code KFC2. That's code KFC2 for free lottery credits on Jackpocket.
Hey guys, it's Matt. Bought it a couple times over the last 15 years or so, but want to say thank you for all the memories you guys have given me. You guys have definitely entertained me on Tuesdays and Thursdays for quite a while now. But got a question for you. You guys could redo your interviews that you've done. Either change it or if you want there. What one would you do? And what one has been your favorite interview out of all the ones that you've done over the years? Thanks.
Do we have another one, or is that it?
Yeah. Let me.
I have an answer to these.
Okay,
it's a little different.
Let's
Yeah.
do that, but also let's wrap on one more because we did just talk about that. So let's talk interviews for a second. I think interviews are funny because they are so important to growth and status, and probably open a lot of doors and opportunities and shit. But I also know from, like, at least me personally, when I tune into my favorite radio shows and sports radio, or now my favorite podcast, I'm like, oh, there's a guest today. Fuck, I want to just hear like the guys. Did you ever feel like you ever feel that? Like, like I always wanted to make sure we were good. That's why we always kind of tacked an interview on at the end, where it's like, you get us, and then this is a bonus. Whether that was right or wrong, that was always my kind of thought.
The best way I would describe interviews in the evolution of it is that, like, they're necessary because I always think that it brings in new fans. Like, if you interview the coach of, Florida Gator fans are going to tune in for that interview, and then they hopefully will stick around. But yeah, in the last, I don't know, probably we've been doing it for maybe 4 or 5 years, where we realized that on Mondays after an NFL Sunday, we don't need an interview, and people just want to, and the numbers probably went up. Like, they didn't suffer at all. So realizing that is awesome. And yeah, like I still like doing interviews because I like asking people questions that I don't think that they get asked a lot, and, like, having fun with people. But if you look at like PMT and how we do our interviews now, it's a lot of just repeat guests that are just our friends, and it's like, I think an interview, you say, oh, you can interview Giannis. Yeah, that will be big numbers. I'd rather interview Russillo or Whitney. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
because you know what it is? It's the difference between, like, the first time you talk to Russillo, it's an interview. And the second, third, 20th time, it's not just a conversation.
Right.
Like, you would call it an interview, but you want to get it to the point where I'm just talking to a friend.
Right. Exactly. So it's cool to be in that spot too, where I think you guys probably had the same, you had the same, like, epiphany where, like, oh, people are tuning in for us. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. Interviews are great. They do add new fans, but, like, the core of the show is us, and having that moment, it is a little, like, liberating, because it's hard to schedule interviews, like, be like, what's our next interview? You're kind of like in a cycle that you can never get out of. Like, all right, we got 2 interviews this week. All right, well, next week's coming. We got to do 2 more.
Oh, man, we were talking, like, we used to record like 5 days a week because it was either an episode or an interview or 2 interviews, 3 interviews. It used to be so fucking many, man.
Yeah.
It was also like, I wish I could redo every interview now that I've, like, gone and done interviews and, like, been on the other side of it, and, like, been asked questions. I have a completely, like, different understanding of how I think it should go. Or, like, not it's not a different understanding, because there's no right way to do it, there's no wrong way to do it, but just, like, better ideas of, like, oh, this would be interesting to try that kind of deal.
Yeah. And it also getting to a point where, I'm sure you guys had this too, where you get to interview people that you just like, whether it's going to do big numbers or not. Like, we just had, we're going to run it, I think, next week, but we just had Steven Jenkins from Third Eye Blind come into the studio, and it was like, will this interview do massive numbers? No. But did I ever think at any point in my life I would be sitting with Steven Jenkins and get to talk to him about Third Eye Blind? Also, no. So I'm going to take that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Dude, that's very cool.
And those are probably, like, your best conversation, or your most, like, again, whether or not it gets the biggest numbers, I don't know, but I think that's when you can tell, oh, that guy actually likes him, or like, it's real passion, real interest, John, when you were in the bathroom, Dan said his number one regret was interviewing Karl Malone, because he didn't quite know the full extent of anything.
I knew some of it. I didn't know all of it.
I was trying to think. Did you have one of those, John? I said that we interviewed D'Elia right before everything popped off with him, but I don't know if we have any ones that I'm like, oh, yikes.
No. First of all,
so.
I'm sure yes.
Yeah.
But just nothing that's coming to mind right now.
You would think in the comedy world that there'd be somebody, but
well, I know it was offered. I don't know if it was, like, how official it was, but, like, Louis was talked about before Louis was cleared again, and I was like, yeah. Louis was one I would do for sure.
I still would do that, though. Are you saying that you've changed that opinion?
No, I'd still do Louis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I would do Louis.
Just to be clear, Louis, I'll do that.
Yeah, I would have done Louis 4 years ago. I'll do Louis today.
Yeah. We got offered O.J. Simpson once. We turned that one down.
That actually is noble. I think
Well,
murder
it
is
was-
a good line to draw.
It was not like, I want to say it was very noble. It was more the fact that they offered us, it was like an ad deal where we like picked OJ Simpson up from jail. And I was like, could we have
Then I would have definitely said yes.
No, we're like, we need at least a buffer. Like, let's let him go like a week without committing anything.
We went we got an ad deal. You're gonna go glove shopping with OJ Simpson.
It's crazy, dude. It was so insane.
Wow, that's a good one. All right, let's do one more voicemail now.
I love you guys. Words can't express how much I'm going to miss you guys and how bummed I am you're leaving. But it sounds like you guys got some new stuff in the works, so I can't wait to see what you guys do. I got one more question for you. In the name of science, I need an answer. And it's also one of those things that you go your whole life thinking this is just how it's done. But then you find out at the age of 35 that you might be the weird one. So we're going to let you guys decide. And Jackie, sorry, this one's for the boys.
Oh, no.
But here it is.
Those
When
gloves
you're going to
are
the bathroom, when you're going number one, we'll take a piss, and you got jeans on. I was always under the impression that you unzip, you reach in, you pull out your junk from the fold, the button, the hole, whatever it is on your boxers. You do your business, tuck it in, zip up, good to go. But I found out that some guys are unbuttoning, unzipping, they're pulling down their boxers, doing the business, readjusting everything back up, and then hitting the road. So we need answers. You guys decide. Diva.
I can't believe
How perfect is this?
Yeah,
How
like
perfect.
15 years in, we're still doing like, do you piss with your dick like this or like that? I mean, it could
Dude,
not be more.
this is
fitting.
like when I was growing up, I used to love reading in the front of GQ. There was like basically advice section where you ask a bartender, where he just kind of spouts advice on random things. That was necessary 30 years ago. That will be necessary until the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
Always need someone to go like, yo, you stand when you wipe or you sit when you wipe? Yo, like the through the fucking fly or above the whatever. Like it's just universal questions forever.
I think it's a pretty universal answer too, though. No,
I don't know.
maybe
I've
not.
thought about
switched it up.
this. I'm the worst. Yeah. So I agree with you, John. I'm the worst person to ask this because I'm the guy who still pisses in sinks. So I'm just doing whatever. Jeans, I think I unzip and just take my dick out. Sweatpants, I let my balls flop out.
Well, because you have to.
Yeah.
There's no fly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if your sweatpants had a fly, I guess I would poke through. But yeah, you got to put your balls over the waistband if you have elasticy type pants. But if you have a fly, khakis, Cheetos, jeans, slacks, if there's a fly, button, zip up, whatever, you go through the fly. Right? It's just less shit to deal with, the belt and a button and all that, right?
Yeah, but then you got, I mean, you want to hear what's really happening these days? You want to hear some real fuck shit that's going on, Kevin? I am wearing high-waisted pants more often these days.
Oh, God.
But also, fucking briefs don't have flies anymore these days. So I'm in this weird no man's land, boys, where my pants end up here and my briefs start down here. So I'm pulling. It's hard to explain.
You got your underwear down, but through the fly, basically.
Like, look, here we go. Here, like,
you got.
then you got to pull coming up over through here.
Yeah, so you're doing a hybrid. You're doing fly, but balls over the underwear.
I'm going fly, but balls over the underwear. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
That's crazy.
I mean, that is like. I would start wearing a dress before I started doing that. That's a fucking nightmare, John.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of good.
You're doing like origami with your pants and underwear.
Yeah. Well, it's
like
exactly
it's a
how
goddamn magic trick for John to piss.
It's why I ended up shitting my pants at Edelman's house because like I was taking a piss with my pants like that, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of that system. You know what I mean?
Can I tell you guys something that's going to put me out on an island here? And the answers are probably going to be like, hey, you got a bladder problem. You probably need to go to the doctor. This has been happening to me, and maybe it's getting older. It happens probably once or twice a week. I'll go take a shit, and I'll just forget to piss. And then I have to I finish and I'm like, wait, I still have to piss. And then I'll piss.
Does it just all come out at once? To me, that's
I
always
know.
been a...
I don't know. I thought it was involuntary, but apparently it's not. So I'll just have to stand up and piss after.
In the same bowl that you just shit in, like right then?
I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta piss still. I don't know what that is.
You're just pissing on the poop?
Yeah, you just
Well, I flush, and then I'm like, it usually hits me after I stand up. I'm like, wait, you didn't piss, dude.
That is bizarre. That's got to be an age thing, because you used to pee every time you pooped, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was like it just goes together, but apparently not. I don't know.
How about this? I saw a thread the other day. By the way, Instagram has like successfully snuck threads into my life.
Oh
you go on thread? Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Good. I got to tip my cap. I'm on threads now. I'm like,
They hit you with the titties, and you're just like, oh, let me see that.
There was a picture of the front of the toilet bowl, and it was really worn down, like a white toilet bowl seat, but the front tip had like a black part that was rubbed out, and it was a girl being like, what the fuck is this about? I've seen this on a couple toilets now. And I thought it was extreme. So I was like, I don't even know what the answer is, but I think this is probably from people pissing on the seat and like wiping it. And the overwhelming answer in the comments was like, that's where we put our dick and balls while we shit. Right? Okay, I'm not crazy. And there was one guy who was like, you guys put your dick and balls out? And it was a lot of guys being like, well, my dick like hits the water. I hit the bowl. Like you must be small or something like that. And I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but I don't think it's normal that people put their dick and balls on the seat while they shit.
No, and I'll do the reverse. I am so small. There's no way I could put my dick and balls anywhere.
I know.
Like, what are you talking about?
I would need like a bridge to get there. Okay, I wanted to make sure. I was like, if this is some new thing that the kids are doing, then it doesn't logistically work. It doesn't make sense. And I pee when I poop, so it would just be going everywhere.
Do you know what makes me laugh just to no end? And this is a good sign of like, hey, you actually will never grow up, and that's totally fine. Do you guys see the like burner verse? They'll post like Curry from downtown, and it's a dude with a stream like from all the way on the other side of the bathroom. I laugh every fucking time. And they're just pissing on the wall.
Yeah, I think we've done that too. Wasn't it you that said, or no, it was John, I think. John told me that in the New York office that you can piss like 6 tiles worth or something like that. You remember that, John?
Yeah, I think I could hit 6. Yeah.
It was an insane distance. It was like a free throw. It was like from the free throw line. It was nuts.
Oh.
Dude, by the way, we were talking toilet stuff, and I literally would never ask this question to any other group of people. So while we're here, I'm going to ask it. When you get older, do you notice the poop leaving streaks in the toilet more?
I mean, I think that's unhealthy. I know I'm unhealthy, so yes, I do.
But you do notice it,
dude.
Do you remember like growing up where you were like, my dad takes fucking dumps, dude. Like old man dumps were a thing. They tear the house apart, they clear the people out, and apparently they're streaking the bowl.
Dude, I never had to know where a toilet brush bowl was in my life. Now I just fucking keep that thing on me all the time.
Now
I go into a hotel. I'm like, there's no brush here?
If I go to a bathroom and there's not a plunger, I don't go. I'm like, there's a 50% chance we're gonna have a problem here. I'm not equipped. This also is like being as lucky as we are, having money and all that stuff. It's awesome. Everyone's like, oh, being rich is the coolest thing ever. I'd actually contend the coolest thing about being rich is having enough bathrooms in your house that you can go away from your family. Like, I just go so far away from my family when I got to do something bad that it's like, because, like you said, growing up, like my dad used to bring matches into the bathroom with him because he just the whole house would smell. The entire house would smell.
Dude, can I tell you something? This weekend, I was away with some friends, and I was staying in a bedroom with a conjoining bathroom to my other best friend. And I was awake at like 5 a.m. I wasn't feeling good. So I was just awake in my room, and he was pooping in the other room. I would have rather had him murdering somebody. Because he didn't know I was awake. So he's like, oh, he's asleep. I can make all my natural noises. And I was like, dude, I wish you were strangling someone to fucking death in there. It was the most disturbing experience of my entire life.
Well, this is perfect timing. The work on my house has officially really started, so we got to wrap it up anyway. But Dan, I want to congratulate you on everything. You have gone on a generational meteoric run that I think they will be writing about till the end of time. And it was cool to have even been a small part of it. It was very fun to watch it all unfold. And I don't think we're where we are today without what you contributed to the show early on. So thank you for that, and congrats on everything you did.
Well, the feeling's mutual because it's not a small part. Like you guys, and like I said at the start of this, like inviting me on was a huge part of everything that has gone on after. And I think that like I'm so happy that I was able to do one last one because people should realize that like how monumental this show, Kevin, your vision, Fights, your humor, like to Barstool's growth was. Like it doesn't. We don't get to where we are without this show and what it built, especially at a time when we weren't doing this. So I'm forever grateful. I was doing Una's drawing show, and we talked a little bit about this, and I was just like, the thing about the two of you guys, like we've known each other for a very long time now. You know, it's not like we're like the best friends where we're going out all the time, but you guys, like the three of us, and there's a few people in our company, like we have shared experiences that no one else has. So it's like, and you guys are like foxhole guys where it's like, I always will know that like we've been through everything and you can look over and be like, yeah, those guys are the consistent guys, the guys that like you can trust. And so your friendship has been enormous for me, and this show has been enormous for me, and I'm going to miss it. I got like sentimental when I was listening to you guys talking about the show over Thanksgiving break. And I was just like, damn, like it's crazy. It's sad that it has to end, but it also feels like you guys are doing the right thing because you said it yourselves, like to just keep doing it just because you did it. That doesn't really serve the purpose. Now you get to go out on a way that everyone's like, that was such an awesome thing, and we cherish it forever, and people will be talking about it forever. Like they'll be like, this was a show that I loved and listened to, and it has a lasting legacy, which is very cool.
Amen, brother. You got anything to add, John?
Well, no, I didn't know we were all going to say nice stuff.
Well said. Yeah, no, that was actually tremendously gay of me. I'm sorry. I should have said all that.
Dan started talking. I was like, what the hell is this? No,
I will say, I'll leave you with this. The one thing that I have tried to do better in my life is like having the gratitude in the moment, because we do a lot of like day to day, what's going on next day. But being able to tell the people that mean something to you that they mean something to you is like something we just don't do as guys, and we need to do more often. Like just a simple love you guys and like a simple this is important to me, because we're idiots. We could go our entire life without saying like, hey, you know what? Thank you so much for inviting me on this podcast back in 2013. It meant a ton to my life and my career and everything that came after. We're too prideful and stupid to like, we'll just die and be like, oh yeah, I guess that was a good thing we did. No, let's say it. Say what you mean.
I'm with you.
No, I completely agree. And obviously you two mean the world to me. And like literally the only reason I have a job, because you both fought for me the many times I should have been fired. So it's also, as you were saying, you were like, yeah, like we have shared life experiences that no one else in the world can relate to. And I completely agree with that. It's also the argument I used to defend why Drake and Millie Bobby Brown wasn't that weird a friendship. I was like, they got life experiences that none of us can relate to, man.
Oh.
I just love the thought of Jan giving that nice speech and John being like, so wait, do you guys leave streaks in the toilet or not?
It's perfect. It's perfect.
We really wrapped up on like great voicemails from everybody today. The exact sort of quirkiness that made KFC Radio 15 years later is still happening. So thank you to those guys who called in and the people who called in all those years, because you guys really were the ones who formed this hypothetical, weird. I've always said the key to the internet is taking the not serious things seriously, like arguing, could we make it to the moon? And then the serious things you don't take too seriously. So that's how we didn't become political and we didn't become, something we're not. And I think we did that because the fans kind of did that with us, and we all grew up together, and it actually became something pretty special. So thank you to anybody who was involved, from producers to fans, and of course, Dan, yourself. It was an awesome ride, and it means a lot that you came back and did it one more time for us. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Congrats, boys. Hell of a run. Hell of a run. Hell of a legacy.
Thank you, gentlemen. Love you, boys. Love all the listeners.
That was so much fun. That was so much fun. I am happy. Like I wish I had come, but like this was
this
perfect.
This was better. Absolutely.
It felt like I time traveled.
Yeah.
Like sitting in a room on a Zoom. It was great.
All right, man.
All right. See you, boys. Later.
Thank you again.
And we're fucking live here, KFC Radio episode 20, and we're going across the country now. We got our boy Feitelberg up in Boston, Puerto Rican Puff Daddy in Park Slope, and making his first ever Barstool appearance, letting his face be seen to the world. We got Big Cat over in Barstool, Chicago. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
This is your big moment, man. People have been waiting to see what the Big Cat looks like, and now they realize he just kind of looks like a normal Jewish kid. What's the thought going on there?
I'm probably going to get a lot of phone calls from women. I understand that. No big deal. The problem is I've been such a creep on the blog that people are so creepy to me that this might be the end of me. So